Welcome to Bad Dice, the UK's first Warhammer Fantasy Battle podcast. We bring you news, reviews and updates from all around the UK tournament scene. Your hosts are Ben Curry and Ben Johnson. We hope you enjoy the show, and if you do, be sure to let us know. You can contact us on thebens@baddice.co.uk or leave a positive review on iTunes. Welcome to episode 19 of the Bad Dice podcast. Just back from Giant Fanatic. We're going to talk about all things related to Giant Fanatic and also the new Skaven release. We've also got some information about the Golden Demon winners. We've spoke to one of those over the last few days, and a few other delights thrown in for good measure. Straight off then, we've got our sponsors, oggames.co.uk and irresistibleforce.co.uk. These guys are our permanent show sponsors. Og Games are a web store based out of London, and Irresistible Force are the guys who help us with the ranking system. So get yourself on their websites and check them out. Our episode sponsor is drgamingsupplies.co.uk. These guys are independent Games Workshop stockists who also have a web store and a shop in Norwich. They can give 20% off all Games Workshop products. They also stock Game Zone, and they give free shipping on all orders over £50. So thanks to them for being our episode sponsors, and that's drgamingsupplies.co.uk. No spaces or anything in there, it's just one word. Okay, so straight into the news.
The news is Skaven.
Yeah.
Held back from Games Day, but they're out now and they're all over the forum.
Yeah, for some strange reason, there was no sign of them at Games Day. There's plenty of Space Wolves and stuff like that, but no sign of the Skaven.
I believe it's a marketing ploy, isn't it?
Yeah, and then a week later, Skaven's all over the net. So
we've got on the advanced orders of the Games Workshop website, we've got Warhammer Army Skaven, £15.
They've got a new cover on this, haven't they?
Yeah, the cover art's been out a while, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we haven't talked about any of this yet, because normally we don't talk about rumours and stuff. We just wait until we've actually got a copy of it. So you've got in the centre of the cover a warlord and a grey seer, sort of stood on a writhing horde of rats.
It's just pretty generic Skaven.
A bit of warp fire going off and all that sort of jazz. And yeah, it's pretty generic Skaven.
It doesn't look massively different from the last one, does it? And then you've got Storm Vermin, 20 plastic multi-part Storm Vermin for $29.35, so £30.
Yeah, what do you think to the price on that?
To be honest, I think it's great. I think it's about right, to be honest.
£30 for 20 men.
£30, 20 men with a load of bits. I don't think anyone can really argue with that. We spoke at length about the Great Swords. And this just goes to show, really, that...
How much were the Great Swords?
25 for 10.
Oh, that's...
Which,
yeah. See, the Storm
which was based on the current... on the price that the metals were.
Yeah.
And I can understand why people were complaining about that. Even at the time we said, at the end of the day, get over it if you want to buy them. These, I don't think anyone can really complain about. They look lovely. The musician is stunning. Have you seen him? What his actual drum is made from.
Is it made from a human?
It's just some dude that he's skinned, but he's left the head on.
Excellent.
I think it's wonderful.
These photos we're looking at now on the Games Workshop website, the advanced order page. So yeah, you can see the drum. I like the champion model. It does look pretty awesome. Holding a severed head with a big axe in his hand. They do look fantastic. I really like them. So what else is new? We've got new clan rats.
They've been knocking about a while, haven't they?
Now that's 20 for £20.
Yeah, Panaman.
So again, soon racks up the price when you...
It does, but then you are buying a horde army, aren't you? Which I suppose you've got to accept is going to be...
They were what, £18 for 20 in the old set, so it's not much more expensive.
Oh god, they're a million times better. I mean, I'm still not convinced on them, I've got to be honest.
You don't like the hunchbacks?
I think I'd like to see them in my hand before I make a...
Well, what you get in the box is like 10 armoured ones and 10 like robed ones.
Yeah.
So if you want to make them slaves, you can use the robed ones as slaves.
2 boxes and you've got 20 slaves, 20 clan rats. I like them. I prefer them to the old ones. I'm still not a 100% sold.
Yeah.
I think, like I say, I need to see them in my hand.
So What else is new with regards to the units? Have we seen anything else yet?
Doom Wheel.
Doom Wheel. Okay, that's not a unit.
It's a unit. It's one big ass unit.
So the Doom Wheel's out, and that's £20
Yeah.
for the Doom Wheel kit, and it does look mighty fine.
It's
got an engineer riding in a big hamster wheel, basically.
58-piece kit.
58
piece kit comes with a host of optional pieces that you can use to personalise your Doom Wheel, which again is great because you don't necessarily have to stick them to the Doom Wheel.
No.
Stick it to Oak. It's got a fantastic banner flickering across the top of it, which realistically probably doesn't make any sense because how's that going to stay on in a tunnel? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That'd look great in a unit of Clan Rats.
That banner?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
I could see Bits Box on a few of them.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the Doom Wheel looks like General Grievous's speedy car.
Oh yeah, that's what you mean. It looks like the old Doom Wheel, to be honest, but the guy's sat inside it instead of sat on top of it. It's still got the spiky warp lightning bits coming off the sides.
Yeah.
It's got the warp lightning cannon type thing coming off the front. Big engine on the back with a couple of slaves hanging off it. All that jazz. So yeah, it looks excellent. Now the other things I knew are the character models.
Yeah.
Now these are just awesome. I'm going to get out of the way to say it, so you've heard it here first. Warlord Queek, I'm going to use him as Dark Elf Dreadlord.
I think there are a lot of people
stunning.
who are going to use Warlord Queek as all sorts, to be honest.
I think his tail can come off, his feet can be green stuffed into boots,
Yeah.
and his face can be done something with, and he's just awesome.
Yeah.
He's an absolute stunning figure. He's leaping off a pile of rats in the air with two big, massive, killy death weapons, a big back banner with
I think it's a rat ogre.
Yeah, rat ogre skeleton attached.
I know he's got somebody's hands on there. That's part of his fluff. I can't remember whose hands they are. Some dwarf dude's hands, I think.
Yeah.
And somebody's beard.
Is what, £8, and that's
£8, yeah.
bargain for that. And the other characters that are out, there's a new Deathmaster Snitch. Again, I'm going to try and use this as an assassin.
I think Snitch is better than Queek. And
Do you really?
And Queek's awesome.
Now, yeah, Deathmaster Snitch can use as a Dark Elf assassin. I think chop his nose off and put a cloak over it instead.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do anything else. Take the tail off, that's it.
Yeah.
The arms look fine, you can get away with that. Maybe change the feet to something, bandage the feet totally. Because at the moment he's like got his ankles and the ball of his foot is
He's exposed.
He's exposed, and just his toes his ankles are bandaged, his toes are exposed. So you bandage your toes with a bit of green stuff, and you're laughing.
Have you noticed as well that the characters are painted with light sourcing from the Warpstone?
Oh, they really? I've not noticed this. Let me just enlarge this picture and have a look.
Scroll. Snitch has got a little one on tying his cloak together that's got light source onto his hood. And then Queek's got a really big talisman in the middle of his red armour.
They've got like Warpstone amulets on them, which I don't know if Games Workshop have done that before.
I've noticed it on the things they do for competition, but like when they did the Wizards, or the Heavy Metal team painted a wizard, they'd use it on that, but I don't think I've ever remember seeing it on just a basic heavy metal, well not a basic heavy metal piece obviously, but an heavy metal piece. It seems interesting, but to be honest, the standard of painting has gone up massively, hasn't it, over the past few years?
Yeah, it has a bit.
But yeah, Queek's got a really big one.
So another one we've got is Packmaster Squeal Gnawtooth, and this guy looks like he's got a big mutated rat, and he's got a massive whip as well. So I imagine he's going to go in. I think he's a unit champion, which can be upgraded because he's in the core section of the special order bit. So I imagine he's going to be an upgrade for either a giant rat unit or a rat ogre unit.
Yeah.
What else we got? Is that about it for now?
That's it for the minute. I mean, obviously.
But we're looking at things. You've got your old. You can now buy the Metal Skaven slaves off the Games Workshop website.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
how much
with
are they?
slings. I think it's 4 for £8. I'm not sure. 5 for £8. So that's not a bad price, to be honest. It's still pricey.
It's not awesome, is it?
The Rattling Gun models are staying the same. The Warp Fire Throws are staying the same. So the Night Runners and the Rat Swarms, Giant Rats are the same. Rat Ogres are the same plastic ones. Plague Monks, Sensor Bearers, Jezzails are all the same. Gutter Runners are the same. Poison Winged Globadiers are staying the same. So,
see, that's the problem, isn't it? The Poison Winged Globadiers and the Gutter Runners, because the Gutter Runners were bad figures when they were released.
The Gutter Runners weren't bad. It's Night runners that are bad.
Oh no, they're both awful.
No, fair enough.
Oh, the plastic gut runner kit was awful when it was released.
What you can also get is Ikit Claw.
Oh, Ikit Claw.
You can order the old Ikit Claw model,
God,
and it's stunning. You can also order the Vermin Lord again. Now all this stuff was taken off back order, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now that disappoints me, the fact that you can order Ikit. I was really hoping for a new one.
Yeah, because then again, it's a stunning figure. You don't need.
Yeah,
a new
but
one.
so was Queek, so was Snitch, and look what they've done to them.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah. Okay, so is there any more news?
Not that I've seen.
No.
Anyway, back to Skaven. I've just had an idea.
Okay. See, first off, do you intend doing a Skaven arm?
I hadn't,
but
I saw Queek, I saw Sternvermin, and went, yeah, I want one of them.
Paint red armour.
Yeah.
They do look good. See, I've painted a Skaven army before with about 400 models, and I don't know if I could bring myself to do it again.
The thing is, you painted it with 400 ugly ass models.
Yeah.
Look at them. It'd be a joy to paint.
I suppose.
I don't want to be that bandwagon boy. Again.
Again, you have been for the last few. You even bought a Lizman
one.
army. Behave yourself. You Dark Elves. You
Yeah.
bought a Lizman army. You bought a Vampire army.
Yeah.
You bought a Warriors army.
I was forced to buy Warriors. No, Vampires and Lisman I didn't like, but yes, I suppose you're right. So I suppose I better leave it a year in there.
Or get painted them now.
Or do what everyone else is doing them. Use them in one tournament before the book comes out. Oh, I've played Skaven for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, Storm Vermin, I think you can make them into weapons teams.
Plastic ones.
Yeah.
By a bit of converting.
A bit of
Doom
messing
wheel
about, Doomwheel bits, Space Marine bits.
Yeah.
I think you can make them into weapons
Or
teams.
not so much Space Marine, but maybe Tyranid bits with the Tyranid bioweapons. Death Spitter and stuff like that. And
Well, maybe the Death Spitter might. I think if you steampunk the Death Spitter, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the problem is the weapon teams, the Globadiers especially.
they're
The
going to
Globadiers
be
are
too out of
massive.
place compared to the.
Yeah, I mean I think as well. You replace Stormvermin's halberd with a Huckland long rifle, which is out.
Yeah, you got a point. So, any more news?
No.
Not really, is there? Okay, so what we're going to do now is something that we don't normally do. Rumours.
Yes.
Now, we've tried to stay away from this because basically you could be getting anything. Rumours come in and you believe what you want off the internet. However, Skaven rumours have been on the net for a long time. All of a sudden, it appears that the books are in the stores and someone's been and had a look. This guy's called Bram Gaunt off Warseer, so give the credit to him. He says had a nice long look at the Skaven Army book. Yeah. So what we're going to do is going to have a quick rundown of what he's said. Bear in mind that, for one, it's translated from German, and for two, he could just be making it up.
Yep.
Not saying he is. It could be perfectly exactly what the Skaven book's going to be. However, we don't know that. We can't say it's exactly right.
No.
As far as we're concerned, this is a rumour, but
take it with a big box of salt.
Got a feeling it might be a pretty close rumour.
I think, yeah, because again, I mean, even Games Workshop had twittered that the black boxes had gone out to the stores with
so if you go to
plastic
the store,
fan rats, plastic Doomwheel, and the army book.
The stores should have them all assembled and painted pretty quick.
It does seem that this could be true. So should we make a start?
Yeah. Want me to start? So,
go on then.
First off, army-wide special rules. So, basically, they've got magic items a bit different to how they used to be. You get your normal restrictions for actual items of 100 points for your general, 50 points for each of your heroes. But also, you can get some like Gifts of Cain or that sort of Chaos Gift type thing of special items which can be upgraded. These are what gives you flavour to your separate clans, so your Moulder, Skyra, all that sort of jazz. In addition to that, you also get like a war gear list, which are magic items, but they're not. Things like Warpstone pistols, a Warpstone rifle, a Guardian rat, which is like a warrior familiar. You can get a tail weapon, so you've got like a prehensile tail, which you attack with, gives you an extra attack. Or you can just give your characters poisoned attacks. Now, characters can have these, and some unit champions can as well. What other army special rules are there, Ben?
Shooting into close combat is gone, according to this chap. But if you read further on, it makes an appearance later. Under certain circumstances.
Yeah, the slaves have the special rule where you can shoot at slaves no problem, but you can't
as
shoot
long as slaves are in combat with something and it's just slaves, then you can shoot into combat no problem. Globadier is the same. Apparently now they rank, and any unengaged Globadier in the unit can throw its globes. So if you've got 20 Globadiers and 5 of them are fighting to the front, 15 of them makes 1 globes in the shooting phase.
Yeah,
which could be potentially awful.
Yeah, but 10 points each and.
Yes,
they're going to be expensive. So what else we got?
+1 to run away as normal, and +1 leadership to a maximum of 10. So no more leadership 11 master assassins, Benji.
Yeah. So we've got characters in the last rank is gone, so you can't put characters in your back rank anymore. However, if you decide to refuse a challenge and you get put in the back rank, you still get his benefits. So if you're the general or a magic item or your battle standard rerolls,
which basically doesn't make any real difference apart from you can't avoid being sniped now, can you?
No.
From things like Rune of Burning Eye.
Or the thing is, you have to stand in the front rank with your wizards and stuff. Things like pterodons and light units can go and try and assassinate.
Yeah, and you can only get rid of 1 maximum, couldn't you? If you have got something to challenge out with.
What else have we got? So units, clan mats. According to this guy, they're 4 points each, so it's the same as before. However, it's only half a point to give them shields or spears. Now, half a point.
That was slaves. Did slaves still have half a point in the last book?
They've not had half a point since 5th edition, as far as I can remember. So that I don't know. I'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised, but then
no, I wouldn't be surprised.
True.
Okay, so Stormvermin is 7 points, 8 points with a shield.
But can I just 4.5 points for a clan rat with a shield? I'm assuming they come with light armour.
Yeah.
So 4.5 points for a weapon skill 3, toughness 3 model with a 4
armour. So it's 90 points
save.
for 20, so it's 115 for full command. Assuming
the command's the same.
10, 5. Well, it might not be. It might be.
With quite comfortably leadership 8 and 9.
Yeah, so it's got a bit cheaper. So for every 100 men you have, if you had 100 clan mats at 5 points each, now you're getting another 20 for free, basically. So is that right? My maths right? I'm still on a postcard.
Stormvermin, only strength 3, come with halberds and mail armour, which I'm assuming is light armour, for 7 points.
No, it'll be heavy armour because they come with heavy armour already. They'll have heavy armour. Look at the look at
You'd
the
have thought, wouldn't you? 7 points,
An extra
1 point for a shield. Magic banner and champion may have looted war gear, which is the pistols, the rifle things that we were speaking about earlier. I think that's what it. Again, it's translated from German, so could be out.
Okay, weapons teams. There's all different stuff now. You get rattling guns are the same, but you have to roll to hit, but you don't suffer distance penalty or multi-shot penalty. The warp fire throwers now actually have flaming attacks.
Yay.
There's also 2 new things. One called a globe mortar and one called a thing shredder. Now, weapons teams, while you're within 3 or 5 inches of your 3 inches of parent unit, you get 4+ ward save. They come with heavy armour, and you get to use the unit's leadership. So the 4+ ward is to give it basically a save of it milling around the unit, and you shot it in the unit instead of that sort of thing. Okay, slaves, 2 points each, half a point for shields, and spears or slings. See, 2.5 points with shields. That's a bargain.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. 2 special rules with slaves. One is cornered and the other is worthless. Worthless lets you shoot in combat. Cornered. Now this is like the squig. The
squig herd rule.
Squig herd rule.
So I think if a unit of slaves loses combat and breaks, it's basically cornered and it panics for its life.
And explodes.
And a load of slaves full of adrenaline want to get the fuck out of there. So they just run through everything.
Yeah, you take
distance, taking.
Don't know what sort of hits, don't know what distance. Okay.
I love that rule.
Yeah, it is a bit good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, a new unit type, Shadow Runners. Now, I imagine these are like Night Runners, however, they're not skirmishers. There's 7 points per model, and they may have a champion. The champion gets a wart save. They all come with 2 hand weapons and a shuriken, which is a rending star type
I believe they are Night Runners. I think they've just been renamed because there's
because Night and Shadow might be.
And there's no other entry for Night Runners on here.
So they're not ranked anymore. They also says you get a free. Sorry, they're not skirmish anymore. They are ranked. It says you get a free movement at the beginning of the game, like a scouting move, like the Dark Riders used to have. Yeah, Gulkin.
Yeah.
Giant rats are a little bit cheaper, but don't count towards a minimum core. Vermin Swarm, 25 points, the same as the giant rats were, and they don't block line of sight.
Is that half? Were they 50 points before?
I think so. Yeah, 40 or 50. Okay, onto the special section. Gutter runners, so they can tunnel, they can skirmish, and they also get outflank. It says coming from the edge of a table, same as way like in 40k.
Champion may have a warp tunneler.
May have.
What the fuck's a warp tunneler?
It must be the champion.
Or is it some kind of funky machine?
No, it'd be the champion. Because the shadow runners, it says may have a warp runner. Anyway, champion can have a 5-up ward, and you can give him nets. Now, this guy says a net counts as a shield and gives a malice to the enemy. He thinks it's a -1 hit, but he's not sure. I wonder if it's the same as the Night Goblin nets, which is -1 strength to the enemy.
Which Night Goblin nets are ace.
And poison attacks are 5 points per model.
5 points per model?
Yeah, which is about what it is now.
It's expensive though, that is, isn't it?
Yeah. Rat ogres, okay, they're the same price as before with the same profile, however they're frenzied. So you get a +1 attack and you have to charge what's in front of you. You can have as many ogres as you want, and for each 2 ogres you may add 1 more handler. The Master Moulder, which is a champion, a Packmaster champion, it can have 30 points of war gear, and you can also have a Thing Catcher, which gives him Killing Blow for 20 points, or a Great Weapon for 4 points.
May have 30 points of war gear. Is it just me, or does that seem an odd number?
Yeah, it's only rumours and it's from a translation. It might not be right. Plague Monks, 7 points per model. These guys now come with 2 hand weapons, so you can't choose to have a bargain basement 1 attack Plague Monk unit like I used to do. They can also have one unit may have a standard for up to 50 points. They still have Frenzy. Jezzails are no longer skirmished. 20 points per model still. 4-up armor save. And they may have a champion with ballistic skill 4. Other than that, I think they're the same.
Now, I'd expect him to have some sort of Hockland type rifle thing.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't say anything about that.
No, but I'd have thought that would have been. So maybe it's 2 the same as Empire.
Yeah, maybe. Sensor bearers are the same. Globadiers we've already mentioned. They're now ranked up and they can throw over the top of the mates when they're engaged. Now the characters. Like we said, Skrulk, Thanquol, Ikit Claw, Skroz the Mutant, a new Headhunter Thing Catcher character. Again, no information about these. Then we've got the Vermin Lord.
Yeah.
Apparently it's 500 points. It says here he's immune to Psych, he's got Terror, he's a large target, a 5-up ward, a level 4, and he counts as a demon. So I don't know.
He may not be the army's general.
No, he can't be the general, so he just turns up and causes some chaos. You've got a Warlord, who's still 90 points. A Grey Seer. Now this says a Grey Seer's got an extra leadership, so a Grey Seer will be leadership 7, giving the army 10. Comes as a level 4 and with D3 Warpstone tokens. His Screaming Bell is 200 points, and this guy says the model's huge, almost twice as big as the current one, and the kit is also used as which says the Plague Many Tekel, which is his translation that he doesn't understand.
Cauldron of 1,000 boxes, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it translates to. Other character is Snitch with the Assassin. He's got a mantle which obscures him to units on a 4+, so you have to test to spot him, basically.
He had that before.
His initiative... Did he?
Yeah.
His initiative 10, he strikes first. Then you've got a character called Tretch, and then it says Assassins. The sad part first, Assassins take a hero slot. Other than that, they're like Dark Elf Assassins with a slightly lower profile, but they're still initiative 9 and always strikes first. The Warlocks, so the Warlock Engineers, they're 15 points each. At this stage, he's only a technician, no wizard. So you can have him at 15 points as your character. So if you want to go for the big horde, your general could be 15 points and the rest will be rats.
Ooh.
He may be upgraded for level 1 for 50 and a level 2 for 85. And you can choose to have double pistols. and he may choose only from the Law of Doom. More on the magic later.
That can't be the name. You can't call it the Law of Doom.
I don't know. It's maybe a rumour, maybe a translation issue. I don't know.
That sounds awful.
Plague Priest, 100 points, level 1 wizard. May choose the Law of Plague, and he can have a Censer Bearer. He can ride on the big Cauldron of Poxes, which apparently is like the Screaming Bell, but it has a censer swinging from it instead of the bell. Okay, now on to the interesting bits, he says. So the Screaming Bell comes with magic resistance 2, 4 ward, causes fear, and it's a large target. It must join a unit of Storm Vermin or Clan Rats. The unit joins and becomes stubborn. The bell has toughness 6, 6 wounds, strength 5, causes impact hits. The Rat Ogre ringing the bell may also strike with strength 5. Enemy units in contact may choose to attack the bell, and you roll on the weapon skill of the Ogre, which is 3, Rat Ogre. So if you move the bell, you need at least 10 models in the unit. For each model below 10, it loses 1 inch of movement. If the unit drops to 5, it may not move at all. When you ring it, here goes. So it's 3d6. I don't know if you can choose to roll 2d6 or 3d6, like you could before. But if you roll a double, the result is applied, but the unit pushing the bell suffers d6 strength 4. If you roll a triple, both the bell and the seer suffer strength 5 hit. Okay, so run down what happens.
Is that it? Does it not blow up anymore? That's a shame.
We'll get into that. Number 1, nothing happens. 2, the unit attached to the bell moves 2 to 4. The unit attached to the bell moves d6 inches forward. Now this guy doesn't know when it's ringing. He doesn't know if it's start of the turn or start of the magic phase. So that could have different implications depending on when it is.
Well, it's not only the magic phase, is it? Because what's the point of moving forward? Oh, actually,
it's a magic phase at the moment. Or is it the shooting phase at the moment?
Shooting
not
phase,
sure.
I believe.
Okay, 5 to 8. All friendly units may re-roll morale checks within 24 inches of the bell. Now this is the most common roll. Re-rolling panic on a Skaven army within 24 inches.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge. 9 to 10. The bell casts the Scorch spell from the Law of Doom. Don't know what that does. At power level 5. 11 to 12. All enemy units with toughness 7 or higher suffer d3 wounds. And then if you roll a 13, say ding dong alarms and smile to your enemy. All enemy units within 24 inches suffer d3 strength 4 hits. If the bell is engaged in close combat, all Skaven within the unit attached may attack in that round of close combat. So if you're a unit of 25 Storm Vermin, they all pile on.
No, I thought 13 would do a bit more than that.
14 to 16, all units within 12 inches gain +1 attack for this turn. 17, they all gain +1 attack and reroll hits and wounds.
Ooh.
18, kaboom! All units within 4d6 inches suffer d6 strength 4 hits without armor save. So there you go, that's your boom. Okay, and your Cauldron is moves like the Screaming Bell, can only go with Plague Monks. And he says he doesn't really remember much of this, except that it causes hits, an artillery-large number of hits on enemy units in contact, and it also does a sensor type test on everyone touching it, toughness test that is. So the last ones.
The Hell Pit Abomination. It may not tunnel. It's a moving mass.
So just to confirm, it does not tunnel. So the rumours that have been on the net are that it does. So we'll see what happens with this.
This is a crawling, moving mass of dozens of bodies moulded together. It has several arms, giant claws. The drawing shows it being at least 10 times as high as a man. It's not a giant rat, more like 100 Skaven mutated together. Nice.
Yeah, sounds good.
It says the picture is only small, but it scared the crap out of me. It does impact hits, causes terror, large target, regenerates, stubborn. Stubborn on an 8. Ooh.
Yeah.
It moves 3d6. If you roll a triple, something bad happens. Roll a d6 and see the result. 1, it doesn't move. 2 to 5, it moves in a random direction. 6, it gains +1 strength. If you roll... I don't understand that.
Right, what it says is, so if you roll a 1, it doesn't move. If you roll 2 to 5, it moves 3d6 in a random direction.
Yeah.
If you roll a 6, it gains +1 strength.
If you roll a second
but it moves
or more,
as normal.
6, it loses 1 wound.
So if you roll another 6 next turn, it loses a wound.
Got you.
Okay, so it's got special attacks. It doesn't attack like normal. you roll a d6 to see what it does. If you roll a 1 or 2, it feasts on the unit it's touching. So it's 1d6 hit of all models in contact with no armor save. This causes d3 wounds. If you roll a 2 or 4, it says leash, which is 3. I assume it lashes with its tail. It's 3d6 attacks. A unit that suffers a casualty gets -1 penalty to hit in that round of combat. And then 5 or 6 is crush, so it just flops on whatever's it touching. All miniatures in contact have to take an initiative test or be killed. Ooh. Now, I don't know if that's killed or take a wound, but could you imagine it flopping on a Stegodon Ancient?
The crushed unit also suffers 2d6 strength 6.
So it just flops on something and mauls it.
And then the bit about it for me, which is horrid, is if the nasty thing is dead, place a marker at its position. The beginning of your next turn, roll a d6. 1 to 3, it's dead. That's it. 4 to 6, rats leaving a sinking ship. The creature dies, but the rats run out of it. Place d3 vermin swarms, so rat swarms, which isn't too bad. But if you roll a 6, it comes back to life with d6 wounds.
Yeah.
So you could kill it, and it can come back to life.
Yeah, with 6 wounds.
With 6 wounds.
And then you could kill it again, and it comes back to life with 6 wounds. Okay, best one. Save the best to last.
It seems like a ratty giant.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be awesome, but bloody hell, it's going to be funny.
Yeah, definitely. And talking funny stuff, the Doom Wheel. Okay, so this is 150 points. Do you remember what the Doom Wheel used to do?
Yeah, it used to move either 3d6 or 2d6, but if you put it on a hill...
It gets an extra d6 for going downhill.
It counted every inch it moved as half an inch or something ridiculous like that.
It also used to zap everything, didn't it? So it's
yeah.
still got that. So it moves 3d6 inches. If you roll a triple... if you roll a malfunction... Oh no, that's it, sorry, it's not if you roll a triple.
No, if you move through difficult terrain, it only suffers d3 strength 4 and carries on moving.
Yeah.
However, if it moves against impassable terrain, it suffers d6
strength
10 and stops.
When it's trapped in combat, it doesn't attack, it just does d3 strength 6 hits.
Yeah.
Now, it also has to shoot 3 times each round at the nearest unit.
Yep.
Okay? Now, the guy riding it can try and stop it from shooting, but it's on a leadership test of 7. When you shoot, you roll your it's strength 6.
D6 strength 6. Oh no.
No, an artillery dice number of hits per shot. So it's 3 artillery dice worth of shots at the nearest unit at strength 6. So I assume you're not rolling to hit. Warlock stops it from firing with a leadership test of 7. If you roll a misfire on a 1, it suffers d6 strength 6 hits and it loses 1d6 office movement. If you lose 3d6 office movement, so if you do this result 3 times over the game, you're destroyed.
Oh, that's permanent.
Yeah. If you roll 2 to 5, you move in a random direction. And if
that
you
must
roll
be next turn then.
I don't know.
Because
unless it shoots before it moves, I don't know. It could be anything. Again, it's
it
only rumours. This might all be wrong. We don't know. And then if you roll a 6, it's basically, what's that button do? The engineer presses the button. We're going faster. Turbo boost. So it's rolling an extra d6 inches until the end of the game.
I've not read that one. That's great.
So the Walk Lightning Cannon, still pretty much how it was before, but it's a cannon now, so it fires like a normal cannon. I assume you can't see through troops anymore. It says no ward save and you don't have to pick flee, so I imagine it's got the normal War Machine rules. It shoots like a cannon, so you guess and you roll artillery dice, it bounces and anything under the hit by the lightning.
Yeah.
If you roll a misfire on a 1 or 2 it explodes. On a 3 to 5 it shoots 4d6 in a random direction with a strength 10 and explodes with a 5-inch blast at the end of the line. So 46 inches in random direction, you put the pie plate down.
And it's strength 10?
Strength 10, yeah. You've also got a plague catapult. It says a magic catapult with strength 2 poisoned attacks, which fires a large template. It says the funny thing is, one of your malfunction results makes your opponent place the large template anywhere he wants within 3d6 inches of the original target. So that's 100 points. So... sounds pretty mental so far. Let's have the magic next. So, first off, you've got the dreaded 13th spell. Go on then, Ben. What's this do? Because I know you've been hopping on about this all day.
Cure of the Horned Rat. Apparently, you cast it on a 25. which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Especially when someone chucks 2 dice in it and
Well,
double sixes it.
Yeah. The thing is, if you've got if you can cast, you're level 4, so you can cast with 5 dice. So you're looking at what?
If they've got that rule.
They might not, yeah. Well, we haven't seen anything to the contrary.
Exactly.
So you're chucking 5 dice,
Yeah.
which is what? Average of
20? 19, is it?
19, 20. So you're going to have to be munching Warpstone as well if you
Yeah.
want to be hitting it without getting the 2 6s.
See, that's another thing as well. We don't know what Warpstone tokens do. If they work the same now as they did, or
It's not said anything,
it's
so I
not
imagine.
different. Anyway, if you get it out, there's no range here for it. Whether that means it's not got a range or what. It does 4d6 casualties on 1 infantry unit with no saves at all.
That's pretty brutal.
It's pretty hardcore, that is, isn't it?
Boy, it gets worse.
If the unit is totally destroyed, which is quite a big thing, isn't it? By this, you gain a unit of clan rats equal to the number of models destroyed. Otherwise, there are only casualties.
Yeah, if you don't wipe them all out, it's just casualties.
So
if you roll 4d6,
Yeah.
you shoot a unit of 10 archers, roll
Yeah.
4d6 and wipe them all out.
Yeah.
You got unit 10 clan rats appear.
in someone's opponent's zone.
Ja! quite fruity.
Now, I wonder what it says on wording of what direction they have to face. So if you wipe out that unit of 10 bowmen that stood next to your bolt throwers, do they
the
necessarily have to be looking the same direction as the bowmen were?
We'll see if it's even in there when it comes out. We're not waiting long.
And then if you get a movement spell.
Oh, stop it. Okay, so the Law of Doom. So, Sulphur Jump, which I presume is Skitter Leap, teleports one character within 12 inches to anywhere on the table. It's on a 5+. Then you've got a Warp Lightning, a D6 Strength 5. Howling Warp Storm. Flyers may not fly. All such shooting suffers -1 to hit, except the Skaven. It's on a 7+. Deadly Frenzy, so that's Death Frenzy. One unit gains Frenzy with +2 instead of +1 attack. It replaces normal Frenzy. Okay, Scorch, this is what the bell casts. Place a 3-inch template within 24 inches, causing a flaming strength 5 attack to any model touched. Ooh, 3-inch template, any model touched as well.
So that's what, 16 guys, is it, on a normal 20x20 infantry?
And that's an
unit?
11+ hitting strength 5 anywhere. It says there's no range, anywhere in 24, no line of sight. That's hideous.
Jaws of the World Rat.
Seriously, it's named somewhat else, something with chasm or canyon or whatever, but the effect is the same. So he's not sure what the wording is for the.
Did they not used to have one of them in 5th?
Jaws of the...
a big chasm up.
Yeah, it might have done. Draw a 46-inch line from the caster. Any model touched must take an initiative test or is removed. War Machines and Chariots only on a 5+. What's that?
Only effect on a 5+, maybe?
Or only pass on a 5+.
Yeah.
I don't know. They did. I used to have something like that where they opened up the floor.
Was it Crack's Call or something like
Yeah,
that?
cracks. Yeah, it was. I think it was. That was in the old battle magic
Show me
spells.
age,
Okay, so the Law of Plague. Plague Breath is the old Pestilent Breath, which is flaming
breath
template.
weapon.
Number 2 is Poison Gift. On a 7+, the unit gains poison attacks. If it's already got it, it casts on it's now poison on a 5, and it lasts till the end of the game. So if you cast it twice on the same unit,
Does it stack?
Imagine it'll stack from that wording.
No, if it's already got poison attacks, it will now work on a 5. So you cast it again on it, it's already got poison attacks, so it still works on a 5.
No,
It doesn't give it +1.
Yeah, but you can if a unit doesn't. If it's just a normal unit of clan rats, you cast it on it, gives them poison.
Yeah.
Cast it again, gives them poison on a 5.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, Wither. One unit within 12 inches suffers -1 toughness till the end of the game. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then
Number
it has
4,
Plague on it.
Vermin Flood, which is the old Vermin Tide. Number 5, Foul Cloud. Cast on 11. All units within 12 suffer D6 Strength 5 hits without armor save. Enemy on a 2+, Skaven on a 4+. Oh, so it's like a Cleansing Flare. Enemy models are hit on a 2+, Skaven on a 4+, D6 Strength 5 hits. Sense Bearers, Globideers and Plague Priests on a 5+. And then number 6 is Plague, but it said it's cast on a 12. Okay, so that's all.
Just nasty.
So the spells are going to be pretty brutal. I'll be interested to see if they have their miscast table.
Yes.
And also if the what the Warpstone does to him. But
also at the bottom it says about the battalion. Apparently contains 40 of the new clan rats, 20 plague monks, and 1 giant rat ogre kit for €85. So what would that be? 60 quid?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. So
it sounds good. It really does. And some of it sounds quite Skaven-y.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't sound as if it's, oh my god, it's the end of Warhammer as we know it.
Oh, it is. Oh, can't you remember the High Elves? They were the end of Warhammer.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? It doesn't have... It has the ring of a really nice book.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Everything you read there makes total sense from a Skaven point of view.
Cheap massed units.
Yeah.
Really destructive weaponry. Some brutal magic. To be honest, I think it'll fit right in with the current Warhammer.
Yeah.
Witches, lizardmen, dark elves, demons, vampires, a bit of warriors and hard empire, and at the top end I think they'll fit right in nicely. But they'll also have a lot of character.
Yeah. There's nothing in there that's made me go, oh god, that's just stupid.
No.
A lot of it, again, it's kind of funky. I mean, that 4d6 dead guys. Yeah, but...
Yeah, it's like Gateway though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to end the world, but actually it's not that good.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who actually gets the 13s, the big spell.
Well, I remember reading before I read this that apparently it was only the Vermin Lord.
Yeah, maybe.
But, see, there's nothing really on here about who can take what. Whether... I mean, there was a bit about Plague Priest, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell you what Grey Seers can take, what they can't take, whether they can take a bit of both.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing on. Again, it's all rumours.
Yeah,
it might not be true. So take it all with a pinch of salt.
To be honest, as well, this strikes me as some guy who's read the book, ran home repeating it to himself, and sat there and typed it out. And
yeah.
Thanks to him.
So, well, that's a quick review of the Skaven rumours and new releases. So we're going to have a short break. After the break, we'll come back with our Fortnite in Fantasy. If you just can't get enough of the Bad Dice podcast, we have just the thing for you. Head over to www.baddice.co.uk and aim for the Snake Eyes section. It costs you just £5 a year, and for your money, you get access to the bonus content we record of every episode. We have our own forums where you can speak to the hosts of the show. You can also chat with the guests and the regulars from the podcast. You'll also get access to members-only contests and discount off the Bad Dice merchandise. So if you want to support the podcast and help us make the show better for you guys, get yourself signed up for the Snake Eyes section today. We're back from a short break and we're going to talk about our Fortnite in Fantasy now. So what have you done?
I have, other than Giant Fanatic, which we'll talk about later I'm assuming, I've played one game, which was GT, Games Workshop GT practice game. Played Chris Taylor, went up to Warner World on a couple of Tuesdays ago. We rolled up a scenario at random, and we ended up with the one, I forget what it's called, with the funky deployment where you roll a dice for each.
Oh no.
Where you roll a dice for each unit. Got that. We roll a dice for each unit, and it depends whether you deploy it on the left, on the right, or in the centre, or if you get a choice. You have to do that for all your units and all your characters. Which created a bit of a problem because as I was rolling, everything was pretty much going on the left or in the centre. And then when I rolled for my level 4, she got plonked down on the right, all on her own, out in the open, waving in the high off bolt throws. So basically, all I could do with her was bring her about 10 inches in the deployment zone behind a wood to hide her from one bolt thrower, try and keep her out of the range of another bolt thrower, and then surround her with shades so that Alathanar and his mates couldn't kill her in the first turn. Alathanar.
And for the listeners, what does he do?
He's got a bolt thrower.
So he's about the price of a normal prince.
He's probably a little cheaper, I think. He's got a 5-foot ward, -1 to shoot him and his unit if he joins one. He's got scouts who can go forward with the Shadow Warriors, and he's got a bolt thrower. It's only a single shot one. It's not a multi-shot one.
But strength 6, D3 wounds, and you can move and shoot it.
You can move and shoot. I might not do D3 wounds. I'm not sure. But his ballistic skill 12 or something.
A bazillion.
Ridiculous. So yeah, he's a pain in the arse. So I took a bit of a variation on last year's GT Army. I got rid of all the crossbowmen and put Dark Riders in instead.
So this is level 4.
Level 4 on a peg, level 2 on a horse, level 2 on foot. Focus, Familiar, Life Taker, Dagger, all that jazz. 3 units of Dark Riders, 1 unit of Harpies, 2 units of Shades with a Rennet Star Assassin, 1 unit of, I think, 17 or 18 Spearmen to sacrifice, a Hydra and 2 bolt throws.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Chris had pretty similar, apart from he'd swapped my Spearmen for Dragon Princes.
Oh yeah.
Basically, so 2 units of Bowmen. And the Bowmen for Dark Riders. 2 units of Bowmen, 3 bolt throwers, I think. A Hero and an Eagle, Althanar, 7 or 8 Shadow Warriors, 2 units of Dragon Princes, and that was about it.
And the Hero and the Eagle had the Reaver Bow.
Hero and the Eagle had the Reaver Bow. Oh, he had a level 2 and a level 2.
So it's a mobile magic and shooty high up on.
Yeah, basically. And then anything that comes too near it gets Dragon Princed. One with the magic dice banner. What's that called?
Banner Sorcery.
Banner Sorcery, and one with the move through cover banner.
Yeah, the banner of
Elrivian or Elarian or something like that. Yeah. To be honest with you, I thought Chris's army was pretty good for the GT. It's got a lot of scoring units in there, and an awful lot of shooting to keep you at bay.
Yeah, hard to get hold of. Good magic phase as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got one wizard that can pick his spells.
The other one that gets 3.
One that gets 3, yeah.
Yeah.
We all know that, can't we?
Yeah, of course we do.
So that was... I was quite lucky, to be honest, in the first... I lost the roll for first turn. Chris went first, trying to kill level 4. He had 1 bomb thrower, a Reaver Bow, an Althanar and his Shady mates, or his Shadow Warrior mates. He needed to kill 3 Shades with the Reaver Bow. Well, with any one of them, or any 2 of them,
to then
get the third one onto the level 4, and he couldn't.
Oh dear. So he didn't take Althanar out of the Shadow Warrior unit to get an extra separate shot.
Left him in the unit. Okay. To be honest, he left him in the unit thinking the Reaver Bow and a bolt thrower
should do the trick.
Easy gonna do.
Yeah.
3 wounds on the unit.
And then the Shadow Warriors and him can shoot the wizard.
Yeah, exactly. Because Althanar on his own, 30% chance of hitting the Pegasus.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'm not sure if it does D3 wounds. If it only does 1, it's not.
No big deal.
So my turn. She hid rather quickly. Didn't last very long, like, because I couldn't get rid of the Reaver Bow man who came around and killed the Pegasus for under her in one sitting. Walk, bitch. So she jumped in the Spearman, and from then on it was just a case of magic and shooting when and where, and took all his toys off.
Alright. What did you say to him at the end?
Don't change your army.
No, was it not? Your army's the same as mine, but mine's Dark Elf, so does it all better?
That's true. That's one thing. But no, I said that I think his army's great for the GT. Like I said, it's got a lot of scoring units, and a lot of units as well that you've got to do a lot too to stop them from being scoring. Yeah. The Dragon Prince has obviously got good armour. There's 7 or 8 Shadow Warriors. So you can't shoot them because they're skirmishing. They'll be in a wood, and if you've got Althanar with them, you're -3.
You've got to wonder though what he's going to do against the Bloodthirster, -2 leadership banner, and the Mask, chucking some extra leadership on him, watching it all run away and not rally.
Yeah, possibly. But then the Bloodthirster, he's got 3 bolt throwers and an Althanar. You can make a hole.
And a Reaver Bow.
And a Reaver Bow.
Yeah.
You can make a den. Even the Mask.
Yeah.
All that.
It's only 3 at ward, isn't it?
Yeah.
3. You get a lot of wounds on it.
You get a lot of wounds on it. 20 bowmen could foresee it. Really could kill it in a turn. Add the Shades into that. The
Shadow
Warriors into that. I don't know. But again, scoring units, isn't it? Yeah. I said to him, the Shadow Warriors don't need to come out of the wood. Leave them there.
In some games they won't need to, no.
Just sit them there. Yeah. My wood, get off.
Yes, it's an interesting list.
The secret missions, we randomised them. Rolled them secretly. Chris got the Kill One General, which is...
He tried his best to do in the first
turn. He tried his best.
Let down by the dice.
And I had the Kill More Special and Rare than your opponent, which against High Elves was not, I wouldn't say easy. Oh, we had an Eagle as well.
The 3 bolt throws, so he's got
3 bolt throws
and a lot of special.
Is suddenly full.
Yeah.
Which, once I was into 1 bolt thrower, the rest just folded.
Yeah.
The Eagle goes down to a bit of shooting. And even I want to say Shades again, but Shadow Warriors, Life Taker.
Yeah.
From 30 inches away.
How's it go?
In a wood at long range with Alathanar moved. Skirmishing.
Yeah, not good.
2s.
Okay, so that was your only one game of the
That was the only
Fanatic?
game apart from Giant Fanatic.
Okay, so I've played 2 games. I played against your brother, Lewis.
Yep.
Lewis took his mate's Bretonnian army to Giant Fanatic, so we had a practice game at the club on Monday night.
Did he have a face on?
Yeah, he did a little bit. He had a bit of a face on. He didn't like the Bretonnians.
No.
He was sulking because he wasn't taking his demons. He was moaning about it. So I said to him, "Why don't you just take your demons? Usually Bloodthirster is a keeper of secrets because it's a converted one. It could pass us either." And he didn't really fancy it. He got on about it. Anyway, I twittered about this. So if you want to check out Twitter, baddice.co.uk/Twitter.
However, it came out a little bit back to front.
Yeah, I think what was happening was when I twittered, it was going up. When I was doing TwitPic, so when I was uploading a picture, it was taking longer to appear than the Twitters. So some of them came up in a bit disjointed way. But you can go on and you get a vague idea.
Of it, don't you?
Whenever I've twittered, I've sort of said what turn it is, so you can tell, even if it's one's in turn 1, one's in turn 4, and then the next turn 3, you can tell when it is. Well, that was pretty brutal. It was my Wood Elf army for the Giant Fanatic, which was a level 4, an Alter Noble, a BSB, 3 units of Dryads, 3 units of Archers, 2 units of Wild Riders, a Tree Man, a unit of Way Watchers, 2 units of War Dancers.
Did you have any Glade Guard?
Glade Guard.
Sorry,
yes. Glade Riders.
Glade Riders.
No. It was them, and he had 5 Lancers, which was 2 Errant, 1 Realm, 1 Quest, 1 Grail, a big unit of 5 Pegasus Knights, a Treb, 2 units of Mounted Yeomen, and 1 unit of Bowmen.
Did you have skirmishes as well?
Yeah, 1 unit of Skirmishing Bowmen. Or I might have 2 units of Bowmen.
I thought I had 2, yeah.
But to be honest, I managed to get his unit of 5 Pegasus Knights from Wild Riders, 6 Wild Riders with a War Banner. Went into them. He failed a fear test, held the charge because I didn't outnumber him, and I think he'd shot 1, so I only had 5.
Yeah.
I didn't outnumber him, went straight through him, chased him off. He got away but didn't rally, ran off the board, and then it was just a case of taking him apart by shooting. The Bow of Lauren was quite tasty,
I can imagine.
with Arcane Bodkins on it. The Eagle Rider just flying around. He couldn't pin him down. In the end, it was about 20-0. I don't think we added it up. There's not a lot of point.
Oh dear.
So that went quite well. However, it didn't. I wasn't really happy with the list. I thought, well, it's an easy win. There was a big wood on the board. I didn't use my free wood, but I thought, well, I got all my army in a wood and I sort of danced around. They did what they did against the Bretonnians, how they normally would. I was still quite concerned about how it would work in the magic system in Giant Fanatic, and also how it would work in not just the magic system, but like dealing with the Dark Elves, the demons, and the Lizard Men. So we went to Giant Fanatic. I played another game as well, but I'll talk about that after Giant Fanatic because while I'm on the subject of Wood Elves. So we went to the Giant Fanatic and we turned up. We flew out early doors, didn't we?
Yeah, we
2:30.
Shall we start from the start?
Yeah.
Thursday, we got up at 7 in the morning. Well, 6 in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
Did a shift at work. Then we went round at my Adam's house for wine and cake, which was fun.
Yeah, pretty much what it was.
Yeah. Then you crashed your car.
No, I didn't. I crashed my car before drinking wine.
Sorry, crashed your car before the wine. Then we had the wine, and then we went home at about midnight. And then 3 hours later, the alarm went off saying, "Get up, you're in Giant Fanatic."
So I picked you up at 3 o'clock.
3:15, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we drove down to the airport, had a beer in the airport, bit of a rush to get on the flight, we nearly missed it. And
did come around awfully quick,
yeah,
didn't
it did. All of a sudden it was, we didn't have a gate, and then all of a sudden it was, we've got a gate and we're getting on.
Yeah.
So we flew over there, we posed up about 11 o'clock, and we meet up with Gard Anderson, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, got his surname right. And we're like, well, we could do with some food. Gard's already got some beers in, so we have a quick beer, and then we'll go get some food. We end up in a Chinese.
And the guy, when we got to the venue at about 11:30, the guys were looking at us very gone out when we were asking them, can we drink?
Yeah, and they're like, it's 11:30 in the morning and there's a school next door, go away. So we went for some food, we had a run around, met a few of the other guys as they were turning up. So it ended up about 3 o'clock. We ended up at the venue with our figures, having some games. So I got a game against Garden. Now,
was it not later than that?
It might have been. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter.
True. Sorry.
So Guard's got a Dark Elf army. He used a Dreadlord on a horse with the Potion of Strength. I think he had the Pendant on him and the Hydra Blade. He had 3 units of 20 Spearmen, which is quite tasty. A Hydra. I don't think he had any Crossbowmen.
No.
He had 1 unit of Shades.
One unit
he had
Dark
Cauldron of
Riders.
Blood. 1 unit of Dark Riders.
No bolt throws.
No bolt throws. It's quite a combat army. Quite a nice list. Did he have chariots?
He had one. He had a hero on a chariot.
Hero on a chariot.
Should we explain why he took that list?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because
the comp.
Giant Fanatics got a lot of comp, but not just that. It's the 20-0 system, but it's split into 10-0, 10-0. 10-0 on gaming, so you know, if it's a draw, it's 5-5. If it's a massacre, it's 10-0. And then also another 10-0 on scenarios. So every game there was 13 different scenarios spread over all the tables, and it wasn't Swiss. It was Swiss tournament, but table 1 wasn't the winners.
No, you played each game on a different table.
You played each game on a different table, and the table was set up depending on what the scenario was. And a lot of the scenarios required you to capture things or earn points. Now, ranked infantry with full command earned double points.
Yeah.
So 20 Dark Elf Spearmen at 165 points.
155
points is bloody awesome.
Yeah, so especially when you've got 3 of them.
Yes.
And you've got the Cauldron of Blood, which
Makes them ninjas.
Gives them crack. Yeah, makes them ninjas, literally. So I played Guard, and to be honest, that was my own undoing. He shoved his Hydra at me, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go, see what happens. So I charged half my army into it. Well, I chose unit Wild Rise in the flank, unit Dryads in the front, and I think he ran me down and broke both of them. Or I held the first round. Second round, he put a unit of Spearmen in the flank and then broke me. And it was like, yeah, I should never have done that. I don't know why I did. Did it because it's a practice game, and I thought, you know what? Because I don't think I've ever done it. Because the only time I've played against Dark Elves, I've been in a competitive game with my Wood Elves. So I've always gone, not going anywhere near the Hydra. Just not.
Nope.
So I thought, well, it's friendly. We'll see what happens. Ooh.
Bloody that again.
So, to be honest, he had me on the ropes, and I was quite lucky to keep the result down. And then in the end, he only beat me by a minor win. I think it was a 12A, but a lot of that had to do with the scoring system, which was in effect, which was, if you're in Band A, you all get 250 points. If you're in Band A, you use a different scoring chart to Band B and Band C. So Band A, you need 500 points for a minor win. You always go off the band that wins the game is the band you look at. So, yeah, I've got it in front of me now. So Band A, 0 to 500 is 5-5. 501 to 850 is 6-4. 851 to 1200 is 7-3. 1200 to 1550 is 8-2. 1551 to 1900 is 9-1. And 1900 plus is 10-0. Obviously, if you pitch battle, that just gets doubled. Your battle point doubles it, or you add your scenario. If you Band B, it uses pretty much the standard victory points chart. If you Band C, so like your Orcs, you only need to win by 100 points to get a win. So
which is ace.
It is quite a nice way of
balancing the lists.
Yeah, balancing the lists.
Also, a lot of the scenarios, in fact, all the scenarios have attacker and defender.
Yeah.
And if you're fighting a game and there's a lower band, so two Band Bs you roll off as normal. If you're Band B, Band C, the Band C gets to choose whether to attack or defend.
Yeah.
Which can make quite a difference.
Yeah. And the way this works is instead of your normal deployment, you split your force in half. Half of it goes down first. If you attack or defender, if you're attacking, you have to deploy first, but you get first turn.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm attacking, Ben's defending.
Let's start standard deployment. Defender chooses the table edge.
Yeah.
The attacker deploys the first half of their troop types. So your army only had about 4 or 5 troop types because duplicates count as 1.
Yeah, all the Dryads would go down as 1.
Yeah.
So I ended up, in every game when I was deploying, I ended up putting all my Dryads down, all my Glade Guard down, and one of my special choices, which was either the 2 Wild Riders or the 2 War Dancers. Yeah. So that was 8 units down.
Yeah. Then the defender deploys their half of their army. The attacker finishes the deployment. The defender finishes the deployment. The defender gets +1 to deploy scouts. And then the attacker gets to go first, which I loved with my Orcs because it meant I could pretty much always choose to attack, which meant I knew I was going first.
Stick it on the middle of the board.
Which meant I'd stick it in the middle of the board, move forward for a turn, they'd only get one turn to shoot or magic me, and then I'd wah. And then we'd see what happened.
Yeah. Sometimes it went well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it didn't, as we'll hear in a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I played guard, 12-8 win to him, and I'm like, that wasn't very good. So we had a chat about the magic system. And guard brought no magic at all, whereas I brought my level 4. Now, the way the Winds of Magic system, as they've called it, works is everyone's dice goes in the centre of the board. So I had a level 4, that's 4 dice. I get 2 for turning up, so that's 6. Guard gets 2 for turning up, so that's 8, and that's it. So the 8 dice in the middle of the board get split half and half.
Yep.
Any spares go to the power phase. So as we were, I paid 300 points for 4 dice. Guard had paid 300 points for 4 dispel dice, and we were dice versus dice every turn. And I think he beat me every turn.
Guard hadn't paid 300 points for no dispel dice.
Guard had paid no points for the same amount of dispel dice, and every turn he beat me on the dice versus dice, which pissed me off.
I really liked it.
At the end of the game, I thought, forget this, I'm putting the bow alarm back in. I'd used it against Lewis.
Yeah.
I'll put it back in. And then I got another pickup game in against a guy called Troll Cedarhome, and he's one of the ETC players, and he had his wood elves, and I picked on him because he had a crate of beer next to him, banged on the window at him, says, Trolls, you want a game? And he's like, yeah, go on then, you got beer. So we had a right old bash, and he had pretty much a mirror match army, but he had the Altar Lord instead of the Eagle Lord, and he took a gamble of my Altar Noble, which was on the left flank, having the Hell of Doom, running his Altar Lord out down my right flank in front of all my shooting, and then my BSB just trots over, Hell Dooms his Altar Lord, then my Bow takes out his Altar Noble, and then after that it was tree bash in the middle, and my tree man won the tree bash, and that was the game then. I think that ended up about, we didn't even add that up, but I'd be very surprised if it wasn't 20. Ooh. But it was a bit rough for him.
Well, while all that was going on, I played Bobo.
Yeah.
Bobo the Vampire Monkey, or Fabio, or
Alex Kinwild,
whatever he's calling himself this week. And I spanked him. He took his Skaven. I don't think he'd ever used it before, or he'd used it once or twice. I took my Orcs and I smashed him. I won by 15 whole points.
15 points?
Yep.
What was it you said to him about football?
Yeah, if 2 teams were playing football and one team had won by 15, you'd say they smashed them. There you go.
Bobo looked at it more along the lines of cricket score.
Yes, he did a little bit, but, you know. No, that was funny. I don't think either of us really had a clue what was going on. Bo had never really used Skaven before. I'd not used my Orcs for a good 6 months. And we'd drunk a lot of wine between us.
Beautiful.
A lot of nasty wine as well.
Yeah.
Wine that cost £2 a bottle. Can't be good.
No.
And then I spied out the corner of my eye a nice ogre player. I thought, you'll do. Bit of confidence. I play the ogre player and promptly lost by 186.
He got slapped about by the ogres. Brilliant. The fat guys give you a ginger.
I thought after turn 3 it was game over. I was 20-0 on him, all over the park, no problem. Again, like I said, I'd won the roll because we both banned Caesar had to roll off, and I knew I was going first. Moved forward, didn't know, wad. It all went into his Iron Guts with 2 butchers and a tyrant in. Smash, 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 smash. 4 boys went in, chariot went in, giant went in the side. Broke them, brilliant. Turns it all back around again, only to see the 5 man-eaters pulling their pistols out, and they proceed to just decimate me.
Gun you down with pistols?
Yeah, because it took me a turn to turn around, a turn to move, and then a turn to charge. So we had a shot, and a stand and shoot. It was horrible.
Killed all your ball boys.
Oh, it was horrible. So I lost that one.
Oh dear.
But it wasn't too bad. We had pizza, more wine.
Yeah. And off to bed.
Yeah.
Quite a late one. Not quite as late as your brother.
No, my brother and Moke dragged their ass in at 5:15 discussing longbows and horses.
Yeah.
They'd convinced all the Danes that in England we are trained to use longbows and we're allowed to use them to defend our homes. Which was...
I'm just glad I didn't go out with them guys.
Yeah.
So, Saturday morning of the tournament, we poll up. There's loads of people there and the draw's up. So, who did you play game 1?
I played Nikolai with his lizard men. Now, I haven't got great hopes for this tournament. I thought I'd take my Orcs, it'll be a laugh. I get drawn against the Lisman army with a slan, an engine, unit temple guard, and I'm thinking, oh well, here we go, first bumming of the weekend. And then I proceeded to smash him 20-0.
Now, Nikolai's taken some photos, or his girlfriend.
No, it was the guy playing on the table next to us.
Oh, right, got you.
Who seemed, I don't know whether it was the way Asger had done the draw, he seemed to be playing next to me on 4 out of 5 games.
Oh, right.
So I was chatting away because his girlfriend loved Wally.
Yeah.
I could see why Trent had him.
Yeah.
I can.
One of the Wombat was on form. Did you get any photos of him with said girlfriend?
Yeah, got
good boy.
Also got a very good photo of Wally and Nikolai's mascot, which was a big Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Wally was having a good time. But yeah, against Nikolai, he had a slan, which knew all the metal spells, a skink engine, 3 units of 15 skirmishing skinks, 2 units of 10 chameleon skinks, 2 salamanders, 5 pterodons, and 2 units of 3 jungle swarms. Now I thought, I've got no hope here. He's going to dance about me, shoot me, engine me, magic me. And he did a bit, but then Awad went forward into the jungle swarms, beat them up, overran into his 2 units of skinks, beat them up, overran. Now, at this point, he could have moved his engine of the gods out of the way, and he didn't. He chose to leave it there to boom me. So when I beat the skinks up, both the Black Hawks and the Bull Boys overran into the Stegodon. I thought, this is alright. Pin me there for a while, can't magic me. Be alright. Not lose them too quickly. He then 16-16'd a break test.
And ran off straight away.
And ran off. So the Bull Boys went off the board.
Did you not only beat him by 1? So stubborn didn't matter because he was testing on an 8 with a slam.
Yeah, I beat him by 1 or 2, something like that. But yeah, he 16-16'd it. I was like, ooh, that's handy. The Bull Boys went off the board. So the Bull Boys had started in my deployment zone and gone off his deployment zone. They then came back on, chose a Temple Guard in the side, because he didn't have a lot of choice. It was either Bull Boys in the side or Black Hawks in the side. They went through them like they weren't there. Again, Shagger's screaming sword.
Just killing everything.
Well, I just challenged the slam. Yeah, nowhere for it to go.
Oh, right, because it was all engaged.
Well, yeah. It was the Bull Boys were in the back actually, and the Black Hawks were in the side. And he just couldn't get it anywhere.
No.
I think he wanted to keep the stubborn as well.
Yeah.
But then when I told him what Shaggers did, he was like, "Oh," I says, "Is it ethereal?" He says, "No." He says, "Oh, good, because I got a magic weapon." "Oh, what does it do?" It does this. Oh.
Got 4 attacks. Now I've got 5. Now I've got 6.
Now I've got 6 because there's Scarvet there as well. Yeah. So yeah, it was horrible.
So big win to you, 20-0?
20-0.
What scenario was it?
It was hidden deployment. And hidden deployment, rather than having one player set up, one player draw a map, they'd been out and bought some hardboard, which was about 3 foot tall.
Off the table.
Big hardboard sheet with little legs on, stood there. So when you sat down, you can't see anything. But when you stand up, all you can see is your opponent's head. You can't see. You've got to get really close to see any of the table. I thought it was brilliant because you can stand there goading your opponent about what you're doing. You can also goad the guys next to you because when you set yours down, you can see down both sides of your opponent of the table next door. So you can go, dude.
You don't want to be doing that.
That was fun.
I imagine. I didn't play that one.
I like that one. I really like that one because the actual hidden deployment was so much better than your map, and you're going, oh well, actually I meant it to be just here instead of just here, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you both get the whole
oh crap, what have I done?
Do you know what I mean? Because I just spread across the middle as I always do.
So his balls went up and he was like, there's orcs everywhere.
And he was more in his left corner, and I was like, oh, that's Squigs and boys doing nothing then, because they were never going to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, so my game 1, I played a guy, and apologies if the pronunciation's miles off, it's Mikkel Skauhag, I think it's pronounced. Now, I went out for beer with Mikkel last year when we went out to Giant Fanatic, and I really wanted to play him. Seems like a really nice guy, and if I remember rightly, on the Sunday last year, I was on when they put the ranking up of how people are doing on points, I was next to him on game 4 and game 5, so I was saying, I'm going to get to play you. And then both times we missed each other. got shuffled around because of who'd played who already and things like
Yeah.
that. Whereas this year we came up and I was playing in first game. You know, he brought Dark Elves, and again he'd gone the route of minimal magic, so he had a level 2 with the Tome of Fury in, which is quite tasty because if you play against another army with heavy magic, you get a load of power dice that level 2 can use, and she ends up with 4 spells.
Yeah.
But against me, he got stuck a bit because he only ended up with three dice. He couldn't really do much with it. But he had a similar Dreadlord to what I'd already faced against Guard. In fact, I think it was exactly the same Dreadlord.
There was a lot of them kicking about.
He had a Cauldron of Blood. He had that wizard. He had a Hag BSB with always strike first, Rune of Cain, Manbane, and all that jazz. He had 2 units of. Now the shooting restrictions for Dark Elves says you can only have 3 units of shooting. So Shades and Crossbowmen, you can have a max of 3 units. So he got around this by having 2 units of 20 Crossbowmen, 1 unit of 8 Shades. So he still had a bazillion shots. Now his combat troops were a unit of Blackguard and a unit of Executioners, which is where they put the Hag BSB. He had a Hydra, and he had, I said the 8 Shades. I think that's about it. 1 unit of Dark Riders.
No bolt throwers?
No bolt throwers. Again.
Had the Hydra instead.
Yeah, 1 Hydra, because they only had 1 rare, so he had the Hydra instead. So we was playing the Globes scenario, which was the crazy bonkers one. Basically, you've got a Wizard's Tower on the table. Each you get 3 globes, 4 globes each, what you can give to your scoring units. And during the game, you can turn them on or turn them off, or you can try and turn your opponents on and off, depending on how yours are. So I give mine to my Tree Man, and then some crap which I never intended to turn on because they damage your units while they turn on. And so he gave his to his 2 big units of Crossbowmen, his Blackguard and his Hydra. Again, pretty much doing the same as I did. Turn the Hydras on straight away. Yeah. Don't put the rest on. So we deployed. Now this Wizard Tower was slightly off to my left flank. So it's sort of you've got to stay within 18 inches of it with your globe, but to get your scoring points. The way it is, you activate it in your turn. If it's on at the start of your next turn, you score 1 scenario point, and you reduce your opponent's by 1.
So you have to keep a running total, don't you?
You have to keep a running total. So I was the attacker, and I got the first turn. So I moved my. Was it? No, I'm telling a lie. I was a defender.
You get to choose because he's a band-aid.
I was a defender, and I gave him the first turn to attack because I thought there's no point in me running forward, let him shoot all them crossbowmen at me because he deployed them in 2 long lines, sort of one either side of the tower, with a Hydra right in the centre of them, and then most of his combat troops towards these are all on the left flank. Yeah. Most of the combat troops towards the centre of the board. So I just sort of spread out and thought I'd play by ear, see what happens. So I gave him first. I chose to be defender, so I would have second turn. So he starts by moving everything forward 5 inches. All he's got to shoot, that's Dryads. I'd put my Way Watchers right on the left flank at the end of the line of crossbowmen in the forest, knowing that if he wants to deal with them, all he can deal with them with is the Hydra. Mm-hmm. So he took that and he sent the Hydra over there. So I needed a terror test on turn 8 on Leadership 8 on my first turn, which I passed. So his shooting did next to nothing because it's shooting Dryads. I think he might have killed 1 or 2. Everything else just shuffled about. First thing I did was bring a Way Watcher out right to the front of the Hydra and sort of surround the front of him. Yeah. Near a skirmisher going off. If he charged me, it goes off towards the back of his table edge. Anyway, I just ran at him. I thought I'd run at him behind my Dryads. He can't bring his combat troops to bear because he'd sort of pinned them behind his crossbowmen. Yeah. The obstacle in the middle of the board was blocking line of sight to let me get right forward and not let the Dreadlord out. And yeah, I ran straight at him. My Altar Noble bolted 18 inches straight towards an archer unit. So his turn 2, he moved a unit of crossbowmen to face the altar and tried to shoot it. His Hydra charged my Way Watchers, which he ended up overrunning off the board, which took him, his turned on globe took him away from the tower, and it took him a turn to get back on. So his turned on globe didn't score points for 2 turns.
But it did damage.
It didn't do damage well because it's off the table.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure. It didn't matter, it's a Hydra. Yeah. So was mine on my Tree Man. Just stood next to the centre. So I ran my Tree Man forward, he shot my Tree Man a bit, did nothing. Altar went forward, he shot that, didn't do anything because I had the Briar's Heath, -1 to shoot, and a 3 at ward save against non-magical. So I ended up getting my Altar into one of his crossbowman units. and the Wild Riders ran straight in the face as well. So I'm thinking, if I hold for one turn, I'm in with the Wild Riders. Well, what happened is I held for one turn and ran off. So he got to pursue into the Wild Riders. Doesn't matter. Wild Riders kicked shit out of them.
Yeah, they would do.
Then Dryads went in, but they kept holding, and the Hydra got in eventually, killed a unit of Dryads, chased them off, but the Wild Riders stayed there till the end. The Ultimo got back, so I wiped up that crossbowman unit. I lost the Dryads. On the other flank, while this was happening, he was shuffling around with his Blackguard. He didn't. If I was scared he was going to move his Dreadlord 18 inches straight at me on the first turn, and he didn't. It took him like 3 turns to decide to do that.
Yeah.
When he was in trouble, he decided to push the game. And when he did do that, he charged a unit of archers and just caught me by half an inch when I fled. I rolled like 6 from my flee. He caught me, so I surrounded him by war dancers because I couldn't get out of the way. So I surrounded him, and he charged in, got the forward ward. And this is sort of coming to the last turn of the game. He charged in forward ward and a hold. So while this is going on, sort of on the right flank, the executioners have come forward. I managed to drag the hag out of the unit with Dryads by putting one Dryad within 10 of the hag, but the executioners couldn't wheel
far
to get far enough, so the hag has to charge on her own. So that got the hag out of the unit. She wiped them up in pretty much one go, and then charges my tree man with frenzy, and the tree man just swats her off, and then goes into the execution and takes them out. The Shades lose the shooting battle with my Bolo and unit of archers. And then sort of coming to the last turn of the game, just to kick him in the teeth, because I was up back quite a bit here, my war dancers, which were fighting this Dreadlord, go kill and blow the next round. He drinks his potion of strength this time, because he saved that for when I didn't have the forward ward, he said. I'd have drank it straight away, because you're 2 to wound in the first round. But he didn't want to use his 2 to wound.
What it was sort of Hydroblade?
Yes. So to be honest, I think it's much. I'd have used it all in the first round to try and get power through and
get
as many wins as possible with the hatred. Yeah. But in the second round, he fluffed quite a bit, and I even made one of my 6-up ward saves. So he ended up only killing one, and then my 2 remaining war dancers killing Blade's Lord in the last turn took him out, which was quite rude. So in the end, it ended up as I think it was a 10-0 on the battle, and then a 6-4 on the scenario, so there's a 16-4 overall to me. Now Mikkel's number 2 in Denmark in their ranking system, so I was buzzing at that. I was well happy. So that was game 1. Game 2.
Game 2, which was about 3.5 hours later.
Oh yeah, we went back to the hotel and did some.
They have 3.5 hours per game. They had an hour and a half in between games. So if you finished early, oh gosh, you're waiting around for ages. Which, it's quite nice having the time, but after sort of like round 2 and then the big wait to round 3, we were kind of like, let's just play Warhammer, because when we went back for round 3, it felt like coming back on a different day, because we'd been milling about after our last game. We'd been back to the hotel for an hour to do some recording, and then we'd come back, and it really did. It felt like coming back on a different day.
Yeah,
didn't it
was a long time.
But anyway, game 2, I played Dan. I can't remember his second name.
Nunson.
In fact, yeah,
Dan
Nunson. Apologies, Dan, if I've butchered your name. But yeah, he had high elves. He had not a star dragon, a moon dragon, sun dragon.
Yeah, basically that flying large targets were banned.
You couldn't have strength 6 flying large targets unless you submitted a list that broke the comp. You could submit a comp breaking list as long as it had concessions in other areas. I tried for a Wyvern, but they were having none of it.
No.
So the Wyvern plus Shaggers equals Dragon.
Yeah.
No.
They got a point.
Yeah, true, I suppose.
Might not be as tough as one, but it certainly hits as hard.
So Dan had a level 2 Fire Mage chap on a Dragon, and a level 2 on foot. He also had a unit of Dragon Princes, a Chariot, big unit of Silverhounds, big unit of Swordmasters, 2 Bolt Throwers, and an Eagle. And we were playing the Lighthouse scenario, which basically is a big hill in the middle of the board with a lighthouse on. Now, a quick thing about all the terrain, was all made specially for the tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of it was themed around the scenario, so there's a couple of scenarios which are like capture warpstone. So all the terrain's got little chunks of warpstone on, and then they've got warpstone tokens you have to pick up. This lighthouse one was a big lighthouse, about 5-inch diameter, made out of Hearst Art blocks. which you have to cast up in plaster of Paris and then stick together individually. And
so they needed about a bazillion.
And there was like 5 of these on the 5 lighthouse tables, so the terrain was stunning. And basically, it was just capture. The person with the most scoring units around the lighthouse, with at least one model wholly within 6 inches at the end of the game, I think you got 2 points.
And you got 1 point, and it was double to 2 if you had a rank scoring unit.
That might be it, yeah.
Sorry, if you had a double scoring.
Yes, if you have double scoring, which is ranked infantry with a banner over
15
units
or more.
15. So I was pretty confident on this, thinking I'm just going to leave my blocks by the tower.
Set everything up, move to the middle, war, stay at.
Well, not even that. I thought leave the Night Goblins, the boys, and the Black Hawks further back, and then just push forward with the Boar Boys and the Chariot, kill him what I can, give him something to deal with, and hopefully he'll take his eye off the prize, and I can get the scenario points at the end, which is pretty much what happened. Apart from when the Black Hawks went, they went 6 inches, the bastards. So they were stuck right out there. Couldn't move back very far, and then he plumbed the Eagle right behind them, which I thought was very clever. And it'd have got them, and he'd got his swordmasters a lot closer if it wasn't for the fact my chariot was made of iron, and he couldn't shoot it or magic it for the life of him. So it went through one bolt thrower, came back on the table, went through another bolt thrower, and hit the flank of the swordmasters.
Well, nice.
Killed 10.
Killed 10?
10.
Excellent.
10 swordmasters dead.
Just how many was he?
About 13, 14.
Brilliant. Exploderised.
Yeah. Broke the rest of them, and then he didn't want to put his Phoenix Guard too far forward, because I think he wanted to protect them and protect the points and try and just sneak them in to within 6 in the last turn. So I just kept putting Spider Riders in front of them to march block him, and so he couldn't, if he charged, he'd come away from the tower. And then I made one mistake, which I didn't put my Goblin Hero on the end of the unit, which meant in his last turn he could bring the Dragon over, which he just sat about Terror in and Breath Weapon in. He could charge the flank of the Black Hawks, and I spoke to him at the end of the game, and he says, if you'd have put your hero on the end, I wouldn't have gone in, because, could have anything. He was expecting him to be the exploding guy, but it wasn't, and he went into the flank of the Black Hawks, broke and destroyed the Black Hawks, because they were butt up to the lighthouse, which was impassable. So they died. The Night Goblins had to take a panic test on a 5.
Ooh.
Otherwise they would have ran away, which would have left me just my boys on the objective. And then his Phoenix Guard awfully close. I didn't think they were in 6, but I wasn't 100%. But in the end, the boys were okay. The Night Goblins passed and the Phoenix Guard went out. So I won the scenario 7-3. I also won on victory points 8-2.
Oh, wow.
Because again, you don't need to win by a lot with Orcs, with a band C, to get an 8-2 to get a good score. So that was a 15-5 to me, which I was quite chuffed about. Faced a Slann and Temple Guard, an engine, and then a dragon.
So 2 big wins.
2 big wins, 35 points.
Okay, well my game 2 was against a guy called Henning Basbul. He used lizard men. His army was a Slann in a big block of Temple Guard. He had an Engine of the Gods. The skink on the back of it had the extra spell and the 2-up ward, which was quite cheeky. 2-up ward against one use only.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's quite good. He had 2 Scar Veterans. One of them was mounted on a horned one. He had another block of Source Warriors. Then he had a cohort with 2 Croxicors in, 2 units of Skinks with blowpipes, and 1 unit of 5 Pterodons, and 1 unit of 2 Razordons. I think that was it. Now he did something really naughty at the first turn. On deployment. He looks at me, looks straight at me like I'm looking at you now, and says, with Scar Veterans both in his hand, if I've got 2 characters, both suffering stupidity in 1 unit, how many stupidity tests do I need to take? And so I'd seen him play at the ETC because he played against Ant Spears on the table next to me. I know he used a horned one. So I looked straight back at him and says, if you did have 2 characters which suffered stupidity, you'd only need 1 test, if you did have 2. And he sort of just went, okay. Now, if I didn't, you know what I mean, I could have fell for that and gone, oh, he's asked about stupidity for 2 of them. They must both suffer stupidity. Then Horndon comes out with 60 in its charge. But I thought, I'm having none of that, you know what I mean? thought it was a bit naughty. You know what I mean?
See, there's
Trying to put ideas in your head.
There's argument for the horned one needing to be declared as a male.
Because it's not a cold one.
It's not a cold one.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't have said oat.
To be honest, that seems a bit naughty because a lot of the guys I played were declaring everything apart from actual.
I don't know if it needs declared or not, and I don't know if they do it in Denmark. I don't know if they do it in England. To be honest,
they were saying the guys I was speaking to saying that in Denmark you declare everything that's not an actual magic item. You declare, which I suppose
the horned one is.
I suppose the horned one is a magic item, but if you go into that extreme of assassins, fanatics, chaos gifts, even. So the only thing they don't declare is demonic icons.
Demonic icons, the banners.
Yeah, the banners. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we were playing the foolhardy fox scenario. So there's a buildings towards my left-hand flank and a couple of woods dotted about the place. Quite a few woods, actually. And the idea of this is the foolhardy fops are like some nobles who've gone out and got drunk and then scattered when the two armies have come. And the two armies need to collect the nobles and take them back for the reward. So these things move 1d6 inches in a random direction every turn before the defender moves. So Henning got first turn and all the fops moved towards him. And I was like, crap. So straight away he got one on his temple guard, one on a unit of skinks, which I'm thinking I'm never going to get back, and one on a unit of razordons as well. So my first turn I managed to pick up 2, but then there was another 2 which were only ever going to end up with me. And you could also have 2 on the same unit.
Alright.
So I ended up with 1 Dryad unit carrying 2 and a unit of Wild Riders carrying 2, but I knew full well if I take the 2 with my Wild Riders, he's going to bomb them with the Pterodons, and that's literally what he did. He moved up to this building on his turn 2, sort of surrounded everything with skinks. Pterodons hopped over, bombed me, flew back. But the Wild Riders picked up these tokens. They were about 6 inches apart, 5 inches apart, and so the Wild Riders picked them both up. They're carrying them. When they got bombed, they dropped the tokens at the centre of where they were stood. So now they're dropping both together in the centre. That's fine because my tree man went and stood on them both next turn and picked them up. So I was quite happy about that.
The Pterodons bombed out 6 Wild Riders.
Yeah, 5 Pterodons.
Oh, 5 Pterodons.
Yeah, 5 Pterodons. Bombed them out straight away, dead. So that was them down. On the right hand flank, the Engine of the Gods and the cohorts were sort of pushing towards a big forest where I was hiding with some Dryads and War Dancers and that. The cohorts came right in my face to put some pressure on, and he put the Engine of the Gods in there as well, which I thought a bit cheeky, which you can do, but I thought, well, fair enough. I'm not going to charge, because I could have gone in the flank with Wild Riders.
Was he war drummed up?
No. Flank with Wild Riders, front with Dryads and War Dancers, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do it, because I won't break them. And next turn he'll boom and kill everything.
Yeah.
So instead I just charged into War Dancers into the front of it. Thinking I'll try and kill him below the priest, see what happens. But he didn't like that, so he ran away. Which I'm like, fucking hell, he can run now, because normally they can't run in the side. When he's in the skinks, he can flee. So they fled to safety. And this was the story all over. Everything was running away and running away. You just couldn't get hold of grips of anything. In the end, my altar had sort of got him in a really tricky position. He can't flee with his razordons. So he'd moved his razordons over and his skinks over to blast me. And I'm thinking, he's never going to hit me. I've got the magic armour and I've got Threat Ward and he doesn't know this. He's never going to hit me, never going to kill me. Then I'm into the razordons and I've pinned him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be there forever fighting me. And he can't turn around and get me.
Would Razordon not kill him? Relatively.
I've got a 3 ward save. He's got 4 attacks, 4 to hit, so it's 2 hits, 2 strength 5s,
2 wounds.
2 wounds. I'm getting a 6 up armour.
Yeah.
And a 3 ward.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, if I go with my great weapon, it's just straight to the 3 ward.
I suppose how long the 3 ward can last for, isn't it? After he's shot you.
See how long I can get. I thought I'd last there a couple of turns before I get eaten. He got a bloody fireball off on me, killed my altar, and I says to him that was huge because that made a big impact. If I'd have got in then with my altar, it'd have made a big difference. And he didn't really know whether to blast him or not. He was just like, I may as well blast the altar just in case the shooting don't do it. It's like the shooting had never done it. But he blasted the altar off, he was dead.
Because you told me about it, you let the fireball go, didn't you?
I had to let the fireball go. He rolled really high on 2 dice. He rolled like 11 on 2 dice, so I had to let it go and then stop the 2d6 strength 4. Yeah. If it rolled low, I could have stopped one and not the other. But again, because it was 5 dice versus 5 dice, so the magic's going off all the time. Small, constant spells rather than just the big spells. So a bit more shuffling. I'm starting to pick off the Saurus unit. I've managed to take out most of the Saurus. I've got the Dryades in a building. The Temple Guard is sort of going nowhere. He made a mistake of putting his Saurus Cavalryman in the Temple Guard unit, which meant he couldn't charge the building, which kept my Dryades safe for a turn. And then the cohorts had run away and rallied, and it was sort of nothing was happening on both sides, no points either way. He brought a Scar Veteran out of a unit. I managed to take him out with Bow of Lauren and a Stand and Fire the next turn from unit of Glade Guard. We had a bit of an issue with that, where I was sure I'd done a wound, he wasn't sure, and then a bit of a discussion, a bit of an argument, but not much of an argument, you know what I mean? It didn't sour the game or anything, of whether we'd taken a wound off the Bow of Lauren. We were both sure against each other, you know what I mean? In the end, we took to a 4+ and it went my way.
There's a lesson there, boys and girls.
Right, everything down.
Right,
yeah.
everything down.
But that it wouldn't matter in the end because it was that close on victory points. It was a draw. I beat him by 100 points. If his Scar Veteran had survived, and if the 4+ had gone his way, his Scar Veteran would have survived. He'd killed a unit of archers, and that'd have been the only difference. So
he'd beat you by 100.
He'd beat me by 100, maybe 200. It wouldn't been over 3. No. So in the end, it was 10-10. But I managed to get 5 of the foolhardy fops to his 3, so I won the scenario. So in the end, I won the game 12-8.
Oh right, so it was a 5.
It was a 5-5 on battle, and it was I won 12-8 overall on the scenario, which was a really tight game.
7-3 on the scenario.
Yeah, that was it. No, 5 and I won 6-4 on the scenario.
So it was
7-3. Yeah, 7-3. Yeah. 12-8. It was really hard game. The Engine of the Gods is just horrible against the Wood Elves. He didn't actually get to blow it up.
Engine of the Gods in a unit of skinks fleeing.
Yeah. He didn't actually blow it up. He just went with 5 at ward, kept everything safe. It's so hard to get points off that list. And I just didn't. It was a right slap.
That's why it needs hitting with the big comp stick.
Even with 1 Stegodon, it's still good. Still really good. Yeah. And even the magic reduced. And it didn't have Rumination. If it had Rumination, it'd have been adding 1 dice per turn to one spell.
Yeah, because
that would have been massive.
You could only use it once, couldn't you?
I've got 5 dice. I was struggling to stop his. He was going 1d6 strength 4 on 2 dice, 2d6 strength 4 on 3 dice. I couldn't stop it.
No.
And if he was doing 2 lots of 3 dice, I really couldn't stop it.
No. You've got to then. You just.
There was one turn where he took 2 dice at a 5, 2 dice at this 2d6 strength 4 and rolled a 5, and stopped it on 1 dice. I took to 5 and stopped. And he was just
he rolled
2d6. Sorry, he rolled 2 dice at the 1d6 strength 4, rolled a 5, and I was like, do I let it go? I'll only have. If I took 2 dice to stop it, I'll only have 3 versus 3.
Yeah.
4 versus 4 would be good. I just took 1 dice, see what happens. 5. And he just sort of looked at me as if, cheeky.
Play 4 and.
Yeah. So that was that. That was a 12-8, so 2 games, 2 wins. And Henning was the ETC player for Denmark this year with Lizards, so I was quite happy with that. Hard game, good result. So your game 3.
I played Demons. I played Tobias. He had a Great and Clean one, which seemed to be the theme of all the demon armies, didn't it?
Yeah.
Great and Clean one with armour and poop Nurglings.
Yeah, it was Trappings of Nurgle, so it's regen and armour, and then Nurgle infestation. Yeah. So it shits out Nurglings on 2+ every
At the start of every magic phase, yours and your opponent's, if there's a unit of Nurglings within 6 inches, you can add a base to it, and it's a whole base. It's not a base and a wound. It's a whole base. So it's just a tar pit of epic proportions.
Yeah.
What scenario did we play? I can't remember. Warpstone. That was it.
So you had to collect the Warpstone.
There was five pieces of Warpstone, 4 little ones, 1 big one in the middle, and you had to collect them. I think you took hits, if I remember rightly, while you were carrying them. Can't remember. And then you took rules back. I set up as normal, spread out across the middle, squigs and fast cavalry on the side. In this scenario, there was 2 buildings on my left, which were about 14 inches in from both deployment zones, quite large buildings as well. So about 10-inch gap in between. So I put squigs behind them. First turn, rolled a 6, going in the building. compulsion move phase. I'm going to that building. Boing. He's like, straight away, no, can't do that. I says, well, you can. He goes, you can't enter and leave a building at the same turn. I was like, but it's a compulsory move. It's sort of like you can and you can't at the same time. And I was looking through the building rules, I couldn't actually find that anywhere, like entering and leaving a building at the same turn.
I was.
I
don't think it would matter if the two buildings that close together. Bear in mind, ignoring the fact that there's squigs, just think of a normal unit. If the buildings that close together, you could leave one, and then you could just make a normal move. Yeah. You move as normal.
He was also saying you couldn't.
The only thing I'm going to say to you is you leave a building in the remaining move section. When do you do your bounce?
Compulsory.
Can you ever leave a building? Can you bounce out of a building?
Fuck knows. Anyway, he was like, oh, you can't. He was saying you couldn't enter the building and leave the building in the same turn. And I couldn't find it. And he just says, we'll talk to Asger. And I says, right, yeah. Trudges off from your robot. He walks up to Asger and he goes, they've got a load of cards on the table. And he says, building there, building, this is Tobias. He says, building there, Squigs behind it. And Asger just goes, yes, he can. Obviously, he'd already seen this. I think he's either walked past the table or he's already seen it before. And he says, and I says, yeah, I've rolled a 6 in my animosity phase, gone in the building, 3d6 out of the building, into the building. As goes, yes, it's fine. Tobias was like, but it's fine. Okay.
Back to the table. Don't mind me.
I'm just a silly Englishman who's had a lot of wine. So then he's a bit upset because he's got his horrors and his chariot there that he can't really do a great deal with now. The rest of it just sort of moves forward. And then he does the same, shuffles forward a bit, poops out a Nurgling. Well, poops out 2 Nurglings, one in my face, one in his face.
Yeah.
My shooting killed, he had, I suppose I should say what he got. He got 2 units of horrors, 1 unit of furies, Tzinch Herald on a chariot, Khorne Juggerman, 16 Bloodladders, 6 Fleshhounds, and 6 Flamers. And that was about it. My boys and everything else went forward into his lines. The Black Hawks trudged forward against the Flamers, just getting shot at. I wad. No, I didn't actually. I just moved forward in turn 2. He then charged me with his Nurglings and Flaming Chariot onto the Black Hawks, which fled 12.
Oh, so right.
He wasn't very happy about it because it left me half an inch out of the chariot's range.
Oh. And
dragged me miles out of Flamer range.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, like I say, he wasn't best impressed with that, but he got his luck back in the end. The boys and the Boar Boys just sort of moved forward a bit of jockeying with the Fleshhounds and the Bloodladders. And then in my turn 3, I wowed. More out of boredom, to be honest with you, because nothing was happening. I was like, this is rubbish. I brought Orcs here, I want to fight. So I wired forward, wired with the chariot, wired with the Boar Boys, just so that the chariot could get a little bit.
So the chariot's got a Black Hawk on the back.
Got a Black Hawk base behind the back, yeah. Wired so that the chariot could get a little bit further forward to the Khorne Herald and the Juggernaut, because he's also got the Wild Banner. So he's got an extra d6. He's got 2d6 plus 14.
Yeah. So
I says, right, Black Hawk's charging the Khorne Jugger, so's the Goblin Wolf out of the unit. He's like, long way. Says, yeah, got extra move. Oh look, 6.
In I go.
Goblin got 18, yeah. Crossing charges all the way. So you can't do that. You can. So anyway, in he goes. And straight away he says challenge. It says impact hits first. Right, yeah, impact hits. I think I did 2 wounds. He failed 1. In fact, I did 3 wounds. He failed 1 on his armour and he went to pick it up and says, no ward saves. I said, why not? He says, Goblin's got Trixie Trinket. No ward save. Yeah, but I'm not fighting the Goblin. He says, but you're in base contact with the Goblin. Right, okay. Challenge. Right, so Goblin will accept. 3 hits, strength 10, 3 wounds. He then looks at it, realising he's got no ward save, gets his fingers in front of it and goes strength 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 0s, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. Takes him off. Which is quite nice.
Did you do a little laugh?
I had a little chuckle to myself, yeah. And all this time everything was sort of getting closer and the giant was steadily creeping around the back.
Yeah.
Now I'd just killed the Corn Herald, which was the one thing that could turn around and just spank him. And then it all just engaged, and he didn't know what Night Goblin Nets did. So when the Fleshhounds charged the Boar Boys, which were kissing the Night Goblins, he got netted. And I added +4 to the combat res.
Yeah.
Suddenly the Fleshhounds explode. I think he was left with 2 or 3 fighting my Lord. And then the Bloodletters went in as well, which also got netted. Held there for a while. Then the Giant went in inside of the Bloodletters, jumped up and down. I think I won the combat by 8. And he double won it.
Oh.
And he says, "Oh, I only take 1 wound." I says, "You don't. I don't think you take any, because you've double won it." He's like, "Oh, I'll go and ask." So he wanders off to ask that. Comes back and says, "Yeah, I don't take anything." All pleased with himself. Oh, fair enough. Because he was a little bit disappointed about my double 6.
Yeah.
So I was like, double 1, come on. And then the next turn I win by, I think, about the same. And I think he rolled 11.
Yeah, that kills them all.
Which no, it didn't. It left him with 1 in the last turn, so I didn't get any points for it. I think it's banner.
Yeah.
But I'd got the Boar Boys. The Boar Boys had got 1 Warpstone token, and the big unit of boys had got the 2.1. They'd run in, they'd grabbed it, they'd run away from the grey and clean one. They'd rallied, they'd ran away from him again, and they'd rallied on the edge of the board.
And you didn't drop it when you flee?
No, you carried it. Sure you did.
Oh yeah, I remember that in the scenario, and I remember someone reading it. It might be Asgen, sort of saying, "That's not been voted in." Oh well.
Yeah, you keep hold of it.
Yeah.
And what did I win the scenario by? I won the scenario 6-4, and it was a draw on victory points. So I won 11-9.
So by the sounds of it, he was expecting like the things like the Fleshhounds into the Boar Boys. He was
just expecting to go through like
but because you've got him touching the goblins, and you know full well that that means the goblins will make a huge difference.
Well, it means I'm adding all that combat res, and he's wounding me on 4s.
Yeah.
And I'm saving him on 4s.
Yeah.
Which it makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
He also didn't realise I had Killing Blow,
which
is quite
War
tasty.
Boss, so you took a couple out with that. Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think he got to the table and looked at it and went, "Oh, you're 20-0 here."
Yeah. Orcs, brilliant.
Because I was on 35 points in games after the first 2 games, so he must have been on something similar.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, "Fucking men, Orc army."
So you got 16-4.
I got 11-9.
Oh, 11-9. Oh, right, got it.
Yeah, 11-9. Like I say, it was I won 6-4 on the scenario and drew 5-5 on the.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, I was more than chuffed with. I was on 46 points out of 60 with an Orc army, having played a Slann and an Engine, a Dragon, and then a Great Unclean One.
Well, out of the English that I travelled with, the overnight leader one.
Yeah, I think overnight I was 5th.
Yeah.
I was highest newcomer as well, which was nice.
Yeah.
Nice little award there for that.
Yeah. Someone who's never been to Giant Fanatic
first,
whoever finished highest gets it.
Yeah.
Okay, so my game through was a game called a guy called Mars Ingvar. He had Lizardmen again. This time I had a Carnosaur.
Ooh.
So we'd set up, and I think he made me attack. We rolled off. He made me attack to give me first turn, and I says to him, "Fair enough. You stick your stuff down first because he's got to." I'm going to toilet. Comes back, and it's all sort of behind a hill, right at the back of his opponent's zone. I think, crap. Okay, so I should have stuck to my game plan, which is fanny about for 3 turns to see what's going to happen. Instead, I didn't. I rushed straight at him, and then he rushed straight at me, and I'm like, crap, I can't go anywhere. And his Carnosaur.
What scenario did you play?
It was the capture one, right in the centre of the table.
Lighthouse.
The Menia. It's the one that is -1 to cast.
Oh, the Elven thing.
Yeah, Elven, big Elven.
Is that the one where demons take more wounds as well?
Yeah, demons are undead, but we've got no demons or undead. So he had a Carnosaur, 2 units of cohorts with 2 croc skulls in each, Engine of the Gods. That's about it. I think 1 unit of Saurus. Might have had 1 unit of Saurus with a Scar Veteran on foot. No, he didn't have the Saurus. He had a Scar Veteran on foot, which just went with whatever skinks. I think 2 big units of 15. Yeah, Jaguar Charm, which I let off on turn 1. He I said, "Has he got a great weapon?" He says to me, "Jaguar Charm." I was like, "Okay, you got a great weapon?" Yes. Like, I had a look at what he could charge. It's like, not really. You can't charge anything. You can charge Wild Rider unit, but he's got to do well to go in and break me. I was on leadership 10 with a reroll.
Yeah.
And there was a counter charge coming in the flank and everything. And I says, you know what, you can have that. And he charged it with archers, so I just ran away. And then I ended up charging him with the altar, the unit of dryads, and a unit of war dancers with the BSB. Because I want to combat with it. So I want to make sure if he does a couple of wounds and doesn't get... I wanted it all in, you know what I mean? I want to make sure he went, and I wanted to get them, because they were march block, I want to get him over that flank as well. Ended up going in, smashing him with the altar. I think I killed him and ended up overrunning. The altar just took him out with a strength 6 before he got to strike. And he was sort of surprised that I'd charged everything, but he couldn't flee because he'd been dead. So that was that, and I thought, well, could do all right here. At this time, my Waywatcher had deployed in the open, 12 inches away from his console, which he'd said to me is a fuck up because console's not a large target. He should have put it behind stuff, but he didn't. It was his own mistake. So I shot at him, didn't kill him. His turn, he charged me, and I'm rubbing my hands. I'm thinking, great, I get to shoot at him again. I did 2 wounds on the console with the Waywatchers this time. Didn't kill the rider. And then he overran about a bazillion inches and hit a unit of dryads. Killed them, went through a unit of archers next turn, killed them, came back on, went through another unit of archers. One Carnosaur took out my whole flank, and I was shooting at him for the whole game with what archers could see him. And I didn't do any more wounds to him. I kept hitting the rider, couldn't hit the Carnosaur for toughy, kept hitting the rider, and he making it on his armor save. And he had the war drums on him as well, which I didn't find out till the last turn, when instead of being right on one flank, he come balking over 14 inches when his march blocked. And he was putting his threat on this other arch unit. Meanwhile, in the middle, he sort of shuffled about. He bombed a unit to kill them all dead, so I couldn't march block his engine. And he looked at it, and he's like, if I go forward and boom you, I'm going to hit everything, but then I'll lose it because you've charged me with everything that's left. Fuck it. Push it forward 12 inches. And I'm like, fucking hell, it's going to be horrible. Booms me, kills half of everything basically. Only did 1 wound to the altar, which was lucky, but half of everything else. And Treeman then goes in, 5 hits on the skink, 5 wounds. Bloody passes 3 of his armour and then pulls out the 2 at ward. So he's still got a skink there on 1 wound. I'm like, hey, you fucker. That fight seemed to take forever. In the end, a skink killed McTreeman after I'd killed the priest off the back with the Treeman though. So the priest had gone down, Treeman had gone down, and then it was just carnage in the middle. It was dryads and war dancers absolutely shredding skink cohorts and wild rides in there as well. But he was doing that much damage back.
Yeah.
In the end, I think I had 8 models left. No, he had 8 models left. I think I had 13. It was absolute carnage. There was no scoring units anywhere near the objective. Don't think there was any left on the table. It was just a bloodbath. It was 5-5 on scenario points, 5-5 on tournament points, but we both scored about 1,700 points each. So it was just carnage. And he says I had a great game. He said I've never played anyone who just... They don't kill like that in Denmark. It just it doesn't happen. You don't just meet in the middle and fuck.
Yeah.
So it's normally a lot more
cagey.
Yeah. We had a great time. So that landed off the Saturday quite nicely. And a draw, so I was on a 16, a 12 and a 10. So not bad. 2 wins and a draw.
So Saturday night.
Saturday night. Yeah, we had a...
Well, we didn't finish playing till about 10 o'clock, did we?
No.
So we went and bought some beer.
Yep.
In fact, did we do that in between?
Went at lunchtime because the pubs over there were quite expensive to drink. To go in a pub and drink, I think it works out about £5 a pint.
Yeah. I think Lewis said it was a bit more than that.
Yeah,
about 6 or 7.
Yeah. But if you go to the supermarket, it was 2.5 krone for a beer, which is... It's 8 krone to a pound, so you get
about 30p.
4 or 5 beers to a pound, yeah. About 25-30p for a beer. Yeah. 4 beers to a pound. So
and wine was about £2 a bottle.
Yeah, so it was easier to... If you go out to Giant Fanatic next year, it's easy to stock up on beer and drink in the hotel room. Or
to be honest, that strikes me as quite, not speaking from a wealth of experience, but a lot of the European countries, well, the 2 that we've been to play, 3 that we've been to play Warhammer, seem to do that, don't they?
Yeah.
They all no one seems to go out until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, the games seem to be longer and they play till longer in the day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because you were there for a Toy Soldiers weekend anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
Played toy soldiers all weekend.
Definitely. I mean, we were back in our room, weren't we? There was us lot. There was Guard. There was Bobo.
There was Tobias and his club.
Tobias wasn't there.
Oh no, the rest of his club.
The rest of his guys were there. The Hammers.
Yeah, Moores and
Rasmus
Hammer.
And the eventual winner.
Yeah.
Who I played on Sunday.
I think it's Carton. Can't pronounce his name. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think it's Carton. Yeah, that we all had a few beers and then we got thrown out by your brother.
Kicked out of our own room by Lewis.
Yeah,
at 1 o'clock in the morning.
So we went back to the venue, didn't we? And had a few more drinks there with Bobo and Guard and Asger. So it was a good night.
And all the tournament organisers talking about stuff we probably shouldn't
repeat on the air.
No.
Yeah. So Sunday morning, bright and early. You have to be there at 8:20, otherwise they lock the doors and you don't get to take part in the quiz.
Yeah. You've got a quiz, 10 questions, and those, however many you get right, gets added onto your total score.
So
and if you're late, that's it.
No
10 points for you.
So the quizzes were race specific.
Yep.
This is quite funny, right?
Unless you're Lisman.
I was sat at my table where I'd played the night before. So I was sat with Moores again, and he was doing a Lizardman quiz. He's got Lizardman. Anyway, they lost the Lizardman quiz. Yeah. So they ended up saying Lizardman players can all choose a race they want. So he took Orcs and Goblins. So he sat with me, did the Orcs and Goblin quiz, and at the end of it, he's like, "Yeah, I think that was all right." Anyway, at the end of the quiz, they rounded all the Lizardman players up. Says, "Right, we found the Lizardman quiz. We're going to take you next door. You're going to do your quiz. That's fine." He comes back after doing that and says, "Oh, that was fucking rubbish. I did crap." And looking at his score, in the end, he ended up with 5 out of 10 on the Lizardman quiz. I mean, I'm an uber nerd. I got 9 out of 10 on my Wood Elf quiz.
I only got 6.
Yeah, some of the questions for the Wood Elves was, first one was quite easy. What is a Waywatcher champion called? So, I mean, Shadow Sentinel. Then there was one like the regions of the multiple choice. What is the southeast region of the Loren Forest called? Which was the Wild Woods, I think it was. There was one, what's the Wood Elf Queen, which was Ariel. There's a description of a magic iron, which is every magic item in the books normally has a fluff and then what it does. And this was the fluff, and you had to say which one it was, and I got that one, Fimbulwinter Shard. There was one which was the fluff name for the kindred. Which kindred was it? I didn't get that one. That was the Wild Rider kindred, and that was the only one I dropped. And then there's a few others, same sort. They're all based on fluff out of your book. Now, how did you find them?
I found some of them really obscure. Like one of the orc questions was, what's the most northern tribe? I mean, it was a multiple choice. You had a choice of 4. But what was the most northern tribe? And I was like, I haven't got a clue. So I just circled one and moved on to the next one. Another one I didn't know was, where do the orcs think they'll go in the afterlife? So I just put Wonderful Copenhagen, thinking I might get a point. I don't think I did that. No. And then there's a few others like which special characters got regenerate, who bested Archeon in the Storm of Chaos, what rule does Squig Hoppers not have? It was like Boing, Skirmish, Hate Dwarfs, Immune, Fear Elves. And to be honest, that took me a few seconds to sort of figure out, because I just assumed I got
because you looked at it and thought, we've got them all.
Yeah, I've got all of them, and it's like, oh no, Immune Sight, no Fear Elves. And just general, what's the other one? What type of weapon is a chopper? A, an axe, B, a sword, C, a club, or D, all of the above? All of them.
All of them.
But yeah, it was a nice little touch actually, and the fact it only adds up to 10, and everyone, there's a few people, I mean there's one person that got 10, there weren't many that didn't score. In fact, totally, I'm looking at it, I can see a couple of 2s. What can you see? A 0.
Yeah, there's a couple of 2s.
There's a 0 there, the guy didn't turn up.
Yeah, he didn't turn up. That was, yeah, the guy I played in game 1, Mikkel, he got 2, and at the end of the tournament I was like, dude, 2? What's going on? And he was like, you know what? I did the questions and I thought, should have 1. And then I got 2 and he was well happy.
So after the quiz, you have to vote for Best Painted. When we all left that on the Saturday night, the organisers, you had to leave your army laid out, and the organisers went round and they picked 5 and then moved them, which was interesting.
You're not sure people moving your figures?
I'm not particularly that bothered.
But some people
especially if it's an organiser, I'm not that concerned. If it's some random, I'm generally not happy about that. But I know some people don't like that at all. No. But hey ho. So they're all moved down by the stage, and you come in, you get a nice little little Vistaprint card, don't you, to put your number on, the number you're voting for, which is all very nice. And then off you trot, and the draw comes up on the big screen, and you play your game 4.
Which was
Graham Claymont.
the guy who won it.
The guy who won it, yeah.
Same army as you just faced, yeah?
Very similar army to I just faced. He'd swapped out the Flying Chariot Herald Man for a Nurgle Herald Man. He'd swapped out the Bloodletters for Plague Bearers. And he'd swapped out Unit Horrors for some more Furies.
So basically, it meant all the bits that you could kill before,
yes,
you now can't kill.
I think it was a much better list considering the scenarios and the way it works.
Yeah.
This was Baggage Train, which you start off with a baggage train in the centre of the board. Nice little model, all made up out of the school pass stuff on a chariot base. It moves 8 inches at the start of the attacker's player's turn.
And the attacker goes first.
The attacker goes first. At the end of the defending player's turn, you count up, again, running total of every scoring unit with a model completely within 6. So to keep a tally as you go along. Now, it was either lack of sleep or too much wine or whatever, but I fucked this one up, something chronic. I deployed so badly. Even after seeing the first half of his army and looking at the gaps as to where everything else would go, I put them exactly where he wanted me to.
Yeah.
If he could have deployed my army for me, he'd have put it where I put it.
Yeah.
I also completely misjudged that the baggage train moving 8 inches,
where it ended up on the end of the game.
It'd be over there at the end of the game. The bulk of my army was over here.
By here and there for radio.
Sorry, by here and there is about 18 inches away.
Yeah, so basically your army was all in the middle.
Yeah.
Baggage train would end up on one flank.
Yeah.
And you didn't anticipate.
And I also didn't anticipate. I also didn't notice the big wood, roughly where the baggage train was going to end, but on his side of the board. So he could just plonk his Nurglings in there, and because they're 105 points, they're scoring.
Yeah, because it's spread out quite wide, it covers it for 3 turns.
Yeah.
And,
So yeah, I played like a complete pudding in this, and I lost 19-1.
And the one was only because of the altered victory point table.
No, the one was because I got a scenario point.
Oh, right.
Because the first turn or so, I got a load of points because the baggage train had just conveniently moved right next to all my blocks, and then buggered off.
And so you'd gone up to 5-0, 10-0?
Yeah.
And then he started knocking them back. Yeah.
But hey ho, my own fault. And I mean, he played well. He capitalised on all my mistakes. So fair play.
Okay, so my game 4, I played against a guy called Dennis Friskran, I think he's pronounced. Wood Elves. So he had a Highborn War Dancer Kindred.
Ooh.
With Blades of Loek and a few more toys. I'm not sure if he had, because we both got 3 wood in this one because it's pitch battle.
Yeah.
So we rolled off to see who put theirs down first, and he puts his where I normally put mine, centre of the board, 24 inches in, as far as it could go. So I thought, well, he's obviously putting his war dance behind there to move into it, and what I thought was moonstone into wherever else he could.
Yeah.
So I put mine sort of off to the right and flank in the centre of mid deployment zone, thinking he'll see an opportunity, play for it, and all I had intended to do was circle that wood with dryads. So I don't know if he had moonstone or not because he didn't come into it, but the dryads were there in case. Basically, we shuffled about a bit. He got first turn and just shot at my dryads. My dryads parted, let my archers through, and I shot back at his archers and just decimated them. I think first round of shooting, I killed about 20 archers out of the 30 he had, which was Hail of Doom, 3-inch bowman, 5 Way Watchers, which killed 4 Watchers out of 1 unit, and my Bolorn Lord. So that was pretty tasty.
I'd love to have seen his face.
And yeah, he wasn't happy. But he took it all. He took it well. He's a good guy. We had a great game. Next turn, I bombed my alternate straight at a unit of 10 archers, which was pretty much untouched. And he basically turned it. He had two from one unit, and I think it was 8 from another unit. Turned around to shoot my altar. Both missed by a mile because of his magic armor. So he's like, where's my Hail of Doom? And it was miles away behind loads of units. So you just look behind it, and it's like, I can see. And I said, can you? And I sort of leaned over, and as soon as I started leaning, it's like, oh, yeah, you can see. And the thing is, when I'd moved my altar, he couldn't. He looked miles away, and he sort of shuffled and shuffled and shuffled. In the end, he'd not moved, he'd not marched. He just sort of shuffled a couple of inches, stayed behind the forest because he didn't want to go in the wood because my strangle would have been strength 5.
Yeah.
So he stayed behind the forest in the end. Just randomly put his unit there, and then when he checked for line of sight, held him, bang, ward save that fucker, dead, crap, gets forced to hit. So I'm going to pause that there because I forgot. Game 3 on Saturday, my Hail of Doom. It was awesome.
Was it Hail of Boom or was it Hail of Gloom?
It was the Hail of Gloom. 3 ones to hit.
Oh.
It's for number of hits. Okay. 2 of them missed, and I killed 1 skink. And the guy I was playing against says, "Here, that's your skink. You can have it. I'm painting another one up." I'm like, "I don't want it. Keep it away from me." Damn skink. So in this game, my Hail of Doom killed a load of archers. I rolled like 15, so got its averages back. But yeah, his Hail of Doom pile drive my altar, so that was dead. I was like, crap. Then there's a bit of to and fro in. Tree men sort of circling each other, and then he brought his forward, not within strangle range or anything, but I managed to get mine past his, and my war dancers marched forward to surround his tree man. So if he wanted to bring his tree man forward, he was sort of having to go back 2 inches and then round. He wasn't going anywhere. So instead, I strangled his war dancers and rolled a 10 and just killed buckets of them. So he goes, "I'm not that good with the artillery dice, I'll charge yours instead." And I'm rubbing my hands here because I've set up for this. So his tree man spends the next 7 rounds of combat fighting 2 units of war dancers. 1 unit first, because I go, he's on force to hit. He gets, on average, he gets 2 to 3 hits, gets 2 to 3 wounds, and I save 1 to 2 of them. And then the turns where I don't get the forward ward, I might save 1, I might not. Normally he'll kill 2. He'll kill 1 when I've got the forward ward, he'll kill 2 when I don't. I've got 2 units, so the first unit goes in, pins him for a couple of rounds. Once they start thinning on the ground, next unit goes in, pins him for the rest of the game. Leadership 10, reroll from a BSB, just stayed there forever. It was brilliant. My tree man went raping. He got his war dancers, he got his BSB. In the end, he killed me and broke me because he had nowhere to go. He charged his second unit of war dancers with his highborn, BSB and altar, which had all bailed out into the second unit. He charged them straight into the tree man. The altar passed its terror test, and it comes. And I'm like, what do I hit? He's gone forward, so no, he went extra attack first. It's like, first thing, kill the BSB, get that dead. Killed him. Next round, I didn't do anything. And all the time he's jabbing me with his Blades of Loek, because it's reroll hits. So it's reroll wounds every time, 6 to 2 wound. Keeps jabbing me, wounded turn. I put unit Dryads inside of his war dancers, killed 2. The one that's back kills 2 Dryads back, so that just negates any bonuses I got. So in the end, he broke the Dryads that went in the flank, and he broke the tree man and ran it down. But then my shooting cleaned them up in the last couple of turns. So it was quite another bloody game, and it was a 12-8. But coming into turn 5, when he charged his war dancers into my tree man, I thought, that's it. I thought, I've got the game here. He's charging in out of desperation, but it all went bad. Like on the left flank, again, his Dryads had been shuffling about, my Wild Rides had been shuffling about, and he marched straight over Wild Rides, left me nowhere to go. I was wanting to shoot him for a few more turns, and I thought, that's fine. I've shot him down to 5, I'll have that. In I go, 5 Wild Riders, 5 Dryads, he rips them apart, takes the banner, runs for a table quarter. It's like, what can you do about that? On the other flank, 6 Wild Riders versus 9 Dryads, I'm like, don't fancy that. I just backed off. I didn't want it. Didn't want 2 bad dice going. Because if I'd done it on the right flank as well, and I'd lost my war banner, Wild Riders, it's 300 points. 200 for the unit, 100 for the banner. So it was 12-8 in the end. I was a bit disappointed about that because the Wild Riders, 5 Wild Riders should have done the Dryads, and that cost me 350 points. That cost me, which
it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it happens.
But it was another good game, and I gave him my best opponent because we had a right laugh. It was a really good game.
That's something we should mention, I suppose. After round 4, you have to nominate your best opponent.
Yeah.
Which is very different to what we do over here, isn't it?
Yeah, we do it at the end, but they say it saves on
time.
Admin time.
Yeah. Which was a shame really, because the guy I played in round 5 would have got my best opponent.
Yeah, same with me.
And I mentioned this to Asger, and he says, well, this is it. Just make sure you tell him. So I did. And I played a guy called Thomas with Dark Elves. I had a hard draw.
Says you.
Fucking I had a hard draw. Anyway, Dark Elf Army. 2 units crossbowmen, 1 unit shades, 2 bolt throwers, a Hydra, a unit blackguard, a unit spearman, a BSB, a cheap ass hero, a level 2 with the tome and, in fact not the tome, what did she have? She had something, and she had the pearl as well. I can't remember what else she had. And then he's got the obligatory Dreadlord horse pendant, potion of strength, Hydra Blade, yeah. And I thought, oh god, this is going to be a tricky one. And we played the globes.
Oh.
Now all weekend, everyone was going the globes. God, it's ridiculous. Don't want to play the globes again. Well, I'm glad I've played the globes.
I was happy I played mine first and got it out of the way.
I sat down, globes. Oh crap. So anyway, deployed as per Orc normal. We got a unit called on cavalry as well, and a chariot and an assassin, which he'd left on his tray. He goes, oh, got an assassin as well. Then, yeah, that wasn't meant to be on there.
See, I always show mine.
You were going to have an assassin, but anyway, I got to go first, and I went, turn them all on. Boom. Can't be bothered with this on, off, hit. Turn them all on, see what happens.
So yours are all on your big blocks?
All on
Black
the 4
Hawk,
big blocks.
both boys and the Night Goblins.
Yeah. So they're all on. Shooting phase. Now, because I've not used the army for 6 months or so, my guesses have been awful. And normally they're bob on, aren't they? So they were 6 inches long, they were 4 inches short.
When did you last use it? When we did the battle report?
Portsmouth. We did the battle report the week before, didn't we?
Yeah, same week. So you're on the bob on then with the Manticore dead.
So about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like I say, short, long, all over the place. Or shooting something and going, right, I was 4 inches short. Then the moving and me being 4 inches long. Anyway, first turn, he's got his unit column knights with hero in opposite both my pieces of artillery. I was like, right, both shooting at that. 27, 28. Doom Diver, knob on, hits, 6 hits, 6 dead knights. Leaves a hero. That was a good start. Rock lobber. Boom. Bob on. Hits, wounds. You got a ward? Dead.
Ace.
I was like, no. Right. We might be in here. And then it all went.
And then he did the Dark Elf thing.
No, he didn't even do the Dark Elf thing. I did the Orc thing.
Oh.
It squabbled, it ran away. Oh, it was just pain. And the globes, there was something wrong with our table. Every time I rolled for globes, you roll a 5 for damage. And I'm not kidding either. I had to do it 4 times on my 4 units at the start of my turns. And for turn 2, turn 3 and turn 4, I rolled 5s every time. Night Goblins, boys, Black Hawks, Bow Boys, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. It was
dead orcs everywhere.
It was ridiculous. I was taking them off in droves. And at one point Alex came over and he says, how are you getting on? And I was lifting a whole movement tray of all boys off. When you lift them off in trays, it's not going well. But his shades shot at my boar boys. He had 7 shades, that's 14 shots.
Yeah.
By the time we'd done the randomisation, he'd got 7 hits on the unit, 2 on the champion, and 2 on the general.
11 hits.
11 hits from 14 guys. That moved, long range, double shot.
5s.
Beautiful. What's that all about?
Dead orcs, that's what's that about.
He did a load of wounds. He didn't do anything to the champion or anything to the general.
Just killed all the rest.
He killed the 5 boys from around them, and the general and the champion went, don't fancy this today. No, I don't either. Let's go. Double 6.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, it was a good game of Warhammer ruined by dice because he was a really, really nice guy. And
was this the ice?
No, it was the really nicely painted one. Because I asked him, I said, how come you didn't get nominated for best painted? And his cold ones, he'd not finished them. They were mainly just base coated.
Oh, got you.
Base coat with 1 highlight, so he would get the painting points.
Oh, right, so you got the paint. You got 15 for painting.
I believe so, yeah.
No, you got 16 for painting. So that's 15
for basic standards, and then one for voting. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, his army, if his army was finished, it would have been up there in the best painter. Like that. It was really nice. And it also looked like two separate armies, even though he painted it. He'd done one Dark Elf army, which was a lot more colourful. The faces and stuff were still painted the same, but a lot of the clothes were a lot more colourful, and it was all based the same.
Yeah.
But he painted one and gone, it's a bit too bright for Dark Elves, so he painted another one, and he's still working on the second one. So yeah, he was just about to stand, because they were quite strict on it, weren't they?
Yeah.
He was just about right for getting the 16, but because I was quite surprised that he wasn't nominated. But yeah, he was a lovely guy, and like I say, I'd have given him my best opponent without doubt.
Excellent.
But
okay.
Yeah, I got bummed. It was. If I tell you, I didn't get bummed. It was 14-6 in the end, even though all I had left on the board was a giant on one wound, because
You racked up
scenario points in the
and
first couple of turns.
Yeah.
And well, he could, but he was afraid of turning his on. He lost one on the cold ones in the first turn. He had lost the Hydra because it got doom divered. It got rock lobbered, sorry, and he didn't turn the Blackguard on until about turn 5.
Yeah, so I didn't have
because he only had about 12 Blackguard.
Can't have him kill them. D6 strength forward too.
Exactly, and he left the Spearmen quite late as well because he only had 20 of them.
Yeah,
and he wanted to make sure they were still going to be double pointing when they were scoring.
Yeah.
So I managed to win the scenario 6-4 purely on racking it up.
You lost 10-0 on.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Giant. Funny story about Giant. Giant moved forward first turn. Assassin revealed itself. Moved forward. Just about in 12. Did a bit of shooting. I did 1 wound. Shades did 4 more. Giant went, don't like this. And went back behind the building.
Wait till that goes away.
Yeah. So he just plodded his assassin 5 inches a turn towards the giant. You know, shooting at the ball boys as he went. The giant just kept moving back and back and back. And in the end, it's in the dead pile. And I'm thinking, he'll forget about that.
I'll be alright. He'll forget.
He's taking my men off in droves. He'll forget about the giant. But no, assassin 5 inches turn. I'm just out. 5 inches. I'm just out. I keep going, and there's no more dead pile.
You're right in the corner.
I'm
touching both table edges.
Touching both table edges. And he moves forward in his turn 5. I'm like, right. Not enough to march block me. So Giant moves right in front of him, thinking, if I get that angle right, if he fails his terror test, he's going to run communist sign to that building.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No, shot you instead.
He moved 5 inches back, saying, I don't want him falling on me. So, yeah. Damn, that was my next hope. It gunned me down. But it didn't kill me.
No.
No, I had one Giant left on 1 wound.
Excellent. Or not.
It was. No, it was. It was, like I say, best game of the weekend.
Yeah.
As daft as that sounds.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's all about the opponent. So my game 5 was against Anders Nor Empire. He's a listener as well.
Yes, he is.
Which is good.
Hello, Anders.
In fact, I was amazed at how many listeners, Danish people says, oh, we have a listen. I knew who we were and that. I was quite impressed with that.
Yeah.
In fact, I was really, really impressed. So
they're not going to miss us anymore, are they?
No, not with a new banner. So he had an Empire army, and because of the comp, you couldn't get an Archlector, Steam Tank, 2 cannons. You couldn't get it. So instead, he dropped the Archlector. He'd gone for the Steam Tank, 2 cannons, Hellblaster, and he'd gone for a Grandmaster instead in a big unit of knights. By big, I mean 13 knights, a Grandmaster, a BSB, so they're stubborn, they're immune to psych. Pretty brutal.
I've heard this story a lot.
Yeah, you have heard this story
a
lot. Now, my biggest fear was that he'd set the knights up 15 wide and sweep me straight off. I was playing the base zone scenario, so you deploy as normal, facing off against each other, but your table's divided up diagonally into 4 sections.
Do you not deploy diagonally in that one as well?
And depending on where you end the game is depending on what scenario points you score. If you're in your opponent's base, you get double points and all that.
Yeah.
So I chose to. I can't remember if I chose to. I think I might have chose to attack, or I was forced to attack. I can't remember. And I just went for it. I thought, well, it's the last game. If we fanny back and get a draw, you don't come anywhere. You come like, you know what I mean, mid-table mediocrity.
Yeah.
So I just gunned it straight across the board at him. almost shooting, went into his shooting first turn. At the time, we both sort of thought, yeah, a bit lucky with that, because I killed all 13 of his handgunners, and I killed all 5 pistoliers. So the Way Watchers killed 1, and the Bowline killed the rest. Sorry, Way Watchers killed 2, the Bowline killed the rest, which Unit destroyed, caused a panic test on the crossbowman, and he sort of says, no, that's not right. I says, it is. Started reaching from a rulebook, and he says, you're all right, I listened to your podcast last week. And I'm like, yeah, they did quite useful. So, but they passed, so it's like, right, I've got to keep shooting them. So I shot them with some archers, and it's like, I've done enough for a panic test. And it's like, you know what, I'm going to fire my hell doom at them, because otherwise, you know what I mean, they're going to be a pain.
Yeah.
And what else am I going to do it at? I might do it at cannon or something, but they were miles away. They were against his table edges. Just like, forget it. Hell doom, bang. Killed the rest. So I killed all 13 and 5 pistoliers. But it was 2 units of archers, pistoliers, Bowline, and Helldoom.
Yeah.
Killed 18 models. So I don't know. Maybe a bit bit lucky, but not over extraordinary. I think the biggest thing was killing the 5 pistoliers with 9 shots.
Yeah, with just the 2 units, it means.
Yeah, Bowline. That was all I could see. Bowline and the 5 Way Watchers. So, and I've also gone at him with everything. He's got cannon shots sort of everywhere. Shoot what you like, I'm not bothered. You're going to kill something. In the end, it was a 41-inch guess, plus a big bounce, and then a plough through. 5 wounds on the tree man from one flank to the other. He didn't shoot me all to all my lord, because we both got ward saves. I fancied him shooting one of them, but he didn't take that. And then my Wild Riders went down the right flank, charged the cannon, but I was an inch out. But I went through that next turn. So Steam Tank was the only thing on the right flank. Now, when I was saying I was worried about him sweeping me out, I was expecting the big unit of knights, 15 wide, on my right, to go into my base, and his Steam Tank to defend his base.
Yeah.
But he did it the other way around. He put the knights in a big ranked up unit on the left, Steam Tank on the right. And the Steam Tank sort of then got bogged down with not being able to do anything. I got Dryads sort of... I should have charged at the flank with Dryads. I had an opportunity, but I didn't. Chose to surround it instead. And actually thinking back, there was no... Well, we said, sort of talked about to each other during the game, there was no point in me not charging. No point whatsoever. So that was my own fault. I should have charged there. And then on the left flank, Dryads had rushed down. Once the True Man took a load of wounds, I sort of got a bit nervous and thought, fuck it, keep going.
Power through.
The Eagle Lord went over as well, and he had a choice of what targets to shoot. He can't shoot it all, but if he wants to kill the Tree Man, the best thing he went for was charging his Grandmaster at the Tree Man, because the unit was blocked. I think the unit was blocked by an Eagle. Yeah, that was it. The turn before, he'd shot his Hellblaster at the Eagle Rider and killed the Lord. It come down to 1 Stone of the Crystal Mere ward save. I'd made a load in a row from all his small arms fire, pistols and bows and stuff. I failed the important one on my Lord with 3 wounds stacked up. Failed the first one, so he died. But the Eagle passed him on reaction, so that was dead useful. And he would block his knights. So the next turn,
Eagle, Tree Man, and Way Watchers, mint.
Again, the next turn, I'd gone in, surrounded him with everything, and his Hellblaster could see the Wild Riders. His Wizard had been positioned to see the Way Watchers, and his Templar Grandmaster could charge the Tree Man. And he went for that. Instead of doing the Hellblaster at the Tree Man, nailing that, he tried to take them all out. Well, his Hellblaster didn't kill enough Wild Riders, only killed 2, I think. The damn Wizard killed all 5. Is that right? I think I missed up the order here. The Wizard killed all 5 Way Watchers. I think it was a turn later. And then Grandmaster went into the Tree Man, killed the Tree Man because he only had 1 wound. Yeah. So the turn... I haven't mixed up the order. Sword of Power, plus 2 strength. I haven't mixed up the order because the turn the Grandmaster charged out, Way Watcher was still alive. So I thought, right, I'm in here. I can kill and blow his Grandmaster.
Yeah.
5 hits, no kill and blows. Oh, fucking hell, that's it. I thought that's... At the moment, it's really tight on points. Maybe I was up a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I thought if he gets back in that unit, it's a draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to have to win on the scenario, and that's it. So I thought, right, shoot me 10 bowmen, long range, this Grandmaster. 3 hits. It's like, well, I suppose I deserve some 6s here, because Way Watcher's got on. 2 6s and a 5. So he gets his dice cup out, chucks his dice at him, slams them down, picks them up. And we both stare at the dice. 3 ones. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. You got a fucking ward save? And it's like, no. That was it. It was both pissing themselves laughing. We were both gobsmacked. And then it was the next turn when the Wizards went, die fucking bitches, and killed all 5 Weight Watchers. But then through an amount of fleeing and things running through things, and I just couldn't get hold of I couldn't mop up the rest of the stuff. Yeah. And the Knights were there getting blocked by this one eagle, which was ace once the rider had gone down. Yeah. But I'd still rather have the Weight Watchers. So it was just a bit of a fanny about. In the end, I think I was up on victory points for a minor win, and I was up on scenario points as well. So it ended up as a 14-6 to me, which I was quite chuffed about. Because when I started Big Unit Knights, I thought, fucking hell, I could be up against it here.
It's hard work to get points out, isn't it?
It really is hard points. And I spoke to the guy, and I says, have you lost him? He says, only one game. He charged him into a big Graveguard bunker, went straight in the face of it, thinking I'm going to go in, hold for a turn, steam tank comes in, and he says, then I just went off elsewhere with a steam tank doing something that it didn't need to do and didn't support him. It was my own fault. I fucked up and lost them all. He says, but when they're supporting each other, you don't lose them. And he's right. I couldn't deal with them. No. Fuck, Wood Elf still gets that.
Well, Wood Elf's always struggled like fucking against the new steam. I mean, the old one was a piece of piss, wasn't it?
I mean, Wood Elves versus the War Walter and Steam Tank Army, it's a tough match, but I don't think Wood Elves should lose. If you think about the fact that they can just disappear, they shouldn't lose. But it's hard to beat it, and it's certainly hard to beat it by a lot. Yeah. But then that Knight unit I think it's better than the War Walter against Wood Elves.
Possibly.
And when I said to Anders after the game, I says I was worried about the 15 wide. He just sort of looked at it and thought,
missed that,
yeah. And that would have been a big problem.
Nothing just hurting you.
The enemy in the way, 14 inches of 15 inches wide. It had just been nothing I could do. But yeah, that was my tournament, and that put me on 64 battle points.
Yep.
I got 16 for painting, 9 in the quiz, 1 for sports, so I came 13th overall.
Well, tell everyone that you get a point for sports for voting.
Yeah, points for voting.
Not that anyone loves you.
You get 2 points per
2
vote.
points for your first 2, 4 points for your next one, and 8 points for your next one.
8 points for your fourth.
That's why, what's his name? Kim Otto Nielsen got 13.
Got 13 points for painting. Yeah. You got 28 for painting.
2 for 8, and then 1 for voting.
You got 28 for his painting, his Undead Orcs, 13 for his fair play. So on 39 battle points, he came 19th.
Yeah.
So you came.
I was 11th.
6 on the quiz.
Yeah.
5 on fair play.
And there's 2 people love me.
2 people voted for you. 27 on painting.
Yeah.
53 on battle.
Yeah.
So quite a good result with the Orcs. Top English was Matt Oakley.
Yes.
Travelled over with us guys. There was Matt, your brother Lewis, and Alex West.
Yeah.
Matt came in 7th, Alex 14th, and Lewis not far behind on 15th. So good showing from the English guys.
We should also mention Bobo, shouldn't we?
Yeah, not going to say where he finished because he's doing a battle report on the form.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, Bobo was in Team Bad Dice, and he did
slightly better than Adam Hall.
Adam Hall didn't come, but if he did come, I'm sure he'd have been 60th again. So yeah, Bobo didn't do bad. If you want to see his battle reports, he's doing one on the Warm Forum.
Yeah.
So get yourself over there to see how he got on with his first experiences using Skaven. Okay, so I think that's a quick rundown of Giant Fanatic then. What do you think?
The details made it.
Yeah.
The little things like best sporting opponents, rather than having a piece of paper that you rip off back your result sheet, they had little cards made up, like business cards, with the Giant Fanatic logo on, your number, the number of your opponent you want to nominate. They had them for that. They had the same things for ID badges for everybody, for best painted nominations. You got a laminate, if you were nominated for best painted, you got a laminated certificate that you put next to your army with your name on, that you could then take home with you. Every table had the scenario sheet printed out and laminated. The table numbers, rather than just a sticker with some biro on, was again Giant Fanatic logo, table 4 laminated. All those little things, the 2 overhead projectors with running live scores. So as soon as you put your results in and you entered it on the computer, it changed on the main board. So if you were the first person to get your result in, you were winning.
Winner.
All the little things like that was brilliant. It ran pretty darn smoothly as far as I can see. I think there was a slight delay by about 10 minutes starting game 4 on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But I think that was down to them losing the quiz,
Yeah.
possibly. But other than that, it ran like clockwork. Bad things was the canteen
Quite expensive.
seemed quite expensive.
And ignoring the fact that the exchange rate's bad and all that, and it's
Yeah.
expensive in Denmark for us anyway.
Yeah,
Even the Danes were saying it was quite expensive.
yeah, and they ran out of hot dogs,
Oh, right. Yeah.
which was the worst thing.
Yeah.
They ran out of hot dogs.
Not good.
Not good, not good. And we couldn't drink in the venue. Couldn't drink alcohol in the venue, which disappointing, but I can completely understand why they do that. Obviously, their licensing laws must be slightly different
Yep.
to what we have over here. But overall, fantastic. I'd go again, without a doubt.
Yeah, see, I'd love to go again, but I think I'd also like to go elsewhere. I've been to Giant Fanatic twice now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of countries doing a lot of tournaments.
That's true.
So if I'm going to travel again, I think I might pick somewhere else. But saying that, why go somewhere else when you know that one's so good?
That's true. That's true.
Um,
It's always an option, and you always know it. If anything, it's going to be great. If
Yeah.
not better.
the terrain was just stunning.
the terrain
it's better than the stuff on the tables at Warhammer World.
All the boards. If you imagine a board, dark green, they then got a spray can and sprayed it a slightly lighter green. Or if the board was light green, they'd sprayed it a dark green. Just random swirls and patterns. And when they're laying it out, you're like, why has someone sprayed it with a spray can? What's that all about? But when the terrain's on top of it, it just brings it out so much from just being a plain green board.
Yeah.
And like I say, just little things like that.
And then hills.
Oh, well, all of it. All the terrain was brilliant. The fact that it was all scenario based as well, and the terrain was themed around the scenario. So you weren't just playing capturing a random hill with random woods. You were playing capture Warpstone with Warpstone themed terrain and Warpstone counters that you took away. It's brilliant.
It is a bit good.
I was very impressed.
Okay, so that's Giant Fanatic. We're going to have another short break, and we'll be back in a minute. Are you an event organiser? Or do you run a gaming club? Or do you just want to shout out your mates on the podcast? Head on over to baddice.co.uk and go to the Sponsor Us section of the website. Click the donate button, and for just £5 you can dedicate an episode to whatever you like. Sponsoring an episode helps us make the podcast better for you guys. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself over to baddice.co.uk and sponsor an episode today. Right, so I think that's it for another show. We're a bit of a monster this time,
It is,
with
isn't
2.5 hours. We did have another feature to put in, but I think we've overrun quite a bit, so we can save that to the next episode. So some things we want to do before we wrap up and clear off. Our games, our sponsors. Quick rundown of who they are and what they do. Basically, they're a web store based in London. So if you're in the London area, they can do free hand delivery to any of your club nights.
That's pretty good.
They've got free postage around the UK. They can also post worldwide. You get 10% off all Games Workshop games. They've got a massive range of other games they do as well.
A lot of board games, don't they?
Yeah, including board games, Fantasy Flight Games they've got a contract with, and you can get that sort of stuff. So go check them out. It's www.oggames.co.uk or it's www.ogforum.co.uk. And yeah, get yourself on there, have a look, say hello on the forums. They're always running competitions and things like that. I mean, we drew the winners of the last competition out on the last episode.
Yeah. Whirligig machine out, didn't we?
Yeah, got the the random name generator off the net. So, talking of competitions, ARG have approached us with another competition they've got, and it's called the Christmas Comp. Basically, anyone from the 1st of October who either joins the Snake Eyes section or spends £5 or more in our shop will get added to a list. The list is closed on the 1st of December, and the winner will be pulled out of a hat at the Destruction Derby 3 by Ollie from Odd Games, because he's coming to our tournament. So, simple as that. Sign up to the Snake Eyes section, it costs you £5, you get access for a whole year for that, and we've got loads of footage, got loads of audio that we've
Audio
recorded.
content. We've been pretty good with that recently, haven't
Yeah. What we tend to do is when we're at events, we'll record at an event and stick that in the bonus section, because the sound quality.
The sound
in the
quality's not
hall,
great, and there's a lot of swearing.
Yeah, you get an idea of what's going on, but there's normally a lot of background noise, which it still sounds perfectly alright to listen to on the show, but I'd prefer not to be in the main episode. But some of the content in there is just it's just winner, so it's well worth the money. You get access to our forums. We've got some merchandise coming soon, which you'll get first dibs on if you got access there. It's only $5, as far as I know. With the cheapest premium content section out of any of the Warhammer podcasts.
Yeah, that might have been a mistake.
Podhammer costs $25 now. Heel and Hammer costs a tenner. So yeah, it's check us out. Sign up, $5. Costs bugger all. Work that out per day, and it's nothing.
It's 1 pint in Danish Denmark land.
Danish Denmark land. Yeah, it is. Okay, so yeah, winner of this competition, Chaos in the Old World. The board game from Fantasy Flight Games.
So the prize for this competition.
Prize, yeah, the winner gets.
The winner
gets
gets,
the World.
Which we've still not played yet.
No, we've not. We could do with getting a copy of that. So yeah, sign up, spend some money in the Odd Games shop, oddgames.co.uk.
Bear in mind as well, you spend some money in their store, you're still getting what you buy.
Get what you buy. Yeah, they don't take that off. Unlucky, you can enter the competition instead. Yeah, so seems daft not to, really.
Does a bit.
Yeah, you all buy stuff from Games Workshop anyway, you may as well go to the Odd Games website. And I think that's about it. What else do you want to add?
Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah,
follow us. Win.
Follow us on follow us on Twitter. We use Twitter quite a lot.
That's the point. Twitter, this weekend I'll be refereeing at GT Heat 1. So I'll be posting a few updates.
Yeah.
Staring at me blankly there.
I've just realised that I've missed a game out of my Fortnite Fantasy, so I'll have to add that to next week. I wrote it in big letters in front of me as well, don't forget Bobo. But Bobo will get his moment in the sun next week. So yeah, Twitter, Facebook, email us. Send us an email if you've got any questions, any ideas you want to run by us, out like that. You can get hold of us at the Bens at baddice.co.uk or individually at Ben Curry at baddice.co.uk and Ben Johnson at baddice.co.uk.
Sorry, I was having a big yawn then.
It is a bit late. Visit the website www.baddice.co.uk. There's a lot of .co.uk's going on.
There is, isn't there?
Thanks to our episode sponsor again, drgamingsupplies.co.uk. So check out them guys. They're based in the Norwich area. They've got a store and also a web store. So www.drgamingsupplies. And if you want to sponsor an episode yourself, you can be a company who wants us to plug you, or just be someone who wants to give some smack talk to the mates.
Or talk about their cat.
Yeah, or talk about their cat. Speaking of cats.
Speaking of cats, yeah.
Right. One of our listeners, username Garzini on the Snake House forum, and he's on some other forums as well. Gary Jeffries' name is. He sent us an email a while ago saying that he'd got us a stand-up banner.
Yeah, like what they use at expos and displays and things like that.
Yeah, he'd managed to wrangle one from work, and it made us this banner. So we were expecting, it could be quite impressive. Looked pretty good. Anyway, turned up, didn't it, this week?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It turned up, actually, Gary, if you're listening, it turned up on Friday. I didn't know this because I was in Denmark land. I only just found out that it came today when I found it, and the wife went, "Oh yeah, that came last Friday for you."
Excellent.
So, apologies that we've not got back to you and said thank you.
It's 7 foot high.
I bet it's 7 foot
4
high.
foot across. No, 3 foot across.
Yeah.
And the Bad Dice Flaming Dice logo is about 3 foot.
3 foot by 4 foot.
3 foot by 4 foot, and it says in big letters at the top, "Meet the Bens from baddice.co.uk." It's excellent. Next time you're at an event and you're wondering, is that the Bens or not? Have a look behind us because of a big fucking banner.
Yeah. And the best bit about it is, it's all funky and it just all like Transformer into this little case.
Yeah, it's stunning. We're so happy with it. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, if any of our listeners want to send us some groovy stuff.
If anyone works at the Royal Mint.
Yeah, start sending us pounds.
Yeah.
That'll do.
No, £10.
£10. You're a bit greedy, aren't you?
Well, if you're asking.
Yeah. Okay, so we're rambling and talking nonsense now, so I think that's enough. So yeah, Facebook and Twitter, they're the main avenues of approach, or just email us. But until next time, thanks for listening.
Cheers, guys.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by Ben and Ben Productions. If you actually enjoyed the show and feel the need to tell other people about it, you can leave a positive review on iTunes. You can contact both your hosts at thebens@baddice.co.uk, or you can contact us individually on Ben Curry at baddice.co.uk or Ben Johnson at baddice.co.uk. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Bad Dice Podcast. So a man walks into a bar and says, ouch.
Oh dear.
Thanks again, Gary.